It was so big. It was like this huge like Hulk.
Oh yeah, I know the big green man.
Welcome, everyone, to this episode of the Cheap Seat Critics podcast, where today we are covering The Incredible Hulk from 2008, which came out a month after Iron Man. Didn't know that. With me today, we
Hello,
have
everybody. I'm one of your hosts, Tony Stark. I mean, Iki Writer.
one of your hosts. I'll just say Crimson Brand.
Oh, like Clint Crimson? That'd been cool. And I'm Captain Sprinks. Sure.
There we go.
Hey, if you're listening from Guatemala, that's cool. You can find us over on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Blue Sky, all those socials. And we're also on LetterBoxd, where we have averaged out numbers and graphs of everything we've covered up to the point. And we have YouTube and Rumble as a visual side of things. If you like the visual side of situation things, we have like PNG tubers, slideshow of whatever we're covering. But maybe you're more of just an audio listener. No problem whatsoever. We have plenty of audio platforms out there you can listen from.
Well put. Yeah, and as stated, we're covering The Incredible Hulk on our journey at this point through phase one.
The second movie.
Yes. We're deep. All right.
Yeah, we're on the second one of like 40.
That's not
By the time we
out
get
there.
to that point, yeah, there'll be probably more than 40. Are the shows included?
Oh gosh, we've covered one. We'll start with our histories, and we'll start with Sprinks.
Oh boy, my history of the Incredible Hulk. I don't think I saw it in theaters. It's so interesting. I don't know if I saw it before. I went to Burger King and they were promoting the Incredible Hulk on Burger. I feel like before I saw the movie, I saw Nickelodeon commercials of Burger King commercials of the Hulk and Abomination throwing things outside of Burger King to demonstrate the toys they were making. And I got some of the toys. I had the Abomination one with like he had like a hook shot arm or something, like he was in a weird like dab pose. And then also one of the Hulk where you push a button and he like makes a thunderclap noise. And then I probably saw the movie after that. I've seen the movie probably 5 times. That's my best guess.
Yeah,
There was also
sounds familiar.
There was also a point in my life, no longer anymore, but there was a point in my life where I thought this was the best Hulk design.
And you no longer believe that.
I no longer believe that.
All right, let's go with the writer next.
All right. I have seen this movie a total of 3.5 times. 1.5 of which was for the podcast. I saw this movie before Avengers 1, but I don't remember seeing this in theaters at all. Didn't really care for it because I was very my family was very picky on the superheroes. I guess there was wasn't a general interest in order to take me to see the Incredible Hulk. The only reason I wanted to watch it was because Liv Tyler was in it, whom I had a very big celebrity crush on, for many, many obvious reasons, being just labeled under Lord of the Rings. But that was it. Yeah, I don't have any history. I haven't played any games with the Hulk in it outside of I think a Lego game. I haven't played any. Well, I did play the Avengers game. He was in that, I guess. But I read no comics. Read no. I knew nothing about the character beyond what was shown to me in this film, and then obviously in the Avengers films going forward. I did pick up a few things here and there as we went along, but my history is pretty thin.
I'm such a dunce. I forgot about anything besides the movie.
Feel free to tack on to your previous comment.
So yeah, I've played the Lego Avengers game. I've played Lego Marvel 2. I've played the Avengers game, Marvel Rivals, um, the actually it wasn't connected to well, yeah, the 2003 PS2 Hulk game. So a lot of games. I do have a small amount of Hulk comics. I have a couple what ifs. Actually, my very first what if was a Hulk comic. What if Theodore Ross became Hulk instead of Bruce Banner? And I got World War Hulk comics. I have Damage Control Hulk. Um, I think I have 2099 Hulk. Yes, I think that's it to add on.
All right. For me, I've seen the 2003 Hulk. I've seen the Incredible Hulk 3 or 4 times, would be my guess. And I've seen most of his appearances in the MCU. I have not seen She-Hulk in its entirety, so I'm not going to fully count that. Uh, I have played the Avengers game, Lego Marvel Superheroes 1 and 2. I don't remember if I did 2. Definitely 1. I own Hulk versus, so that's Wolverine and Thor. I
Yes,
haven't seen it, but I own it.
I forgot that too.
What else do I have? The I don't. I think it's the first time I saw this movie was. It wasn't at a drive-in. It's like a. There was a park thing where they had this giant pop-up screen, and you would just bring out your like camping or picnic blankets and chairs and whatnot, and you would just sit in the field and watch this movie on a screen outside.
So,
And this was the one they chose that night.
so instead of Shakespeare in the Park, you went to Incredible Hulk in the Park.
I suppose so. Uh, so I guess that's it. Yeah. Any other histories before we jump into some facts?
I think I've seen one episode of the Hulk Commando show or like Hulk Smash Team, whatever it was called, and then Superhero Squad. He was in that too. Uh,
Any Lou Ferrigno show watchers?
a couple episode of the original Lou Ferrigno show, and who was it? Bill Baxter. Bill Bill Baxter. Big Bill Baxton. Oh, I'm
Bill
blanking on the actor's
Paxton?
name. No, it was not Bill Paxton. The
Oh,
guy who played Donovan in Apple Dumpling Gang. He played Bruce Banner in the show. Lou Ferrigno was the Hulk.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, he makes an appearance in this movie, kind of.
Lou does, not Bill.
Wasn't he on the TV?
Was that him? Oh, I
Pretty sure
missed
that
that.
was him.
You're saying things I don't understand, so I'm just gonna nod my head.
Yeah.
Sorry, nerd talk.
Us nerd talking? Never.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess my last history thing that I totally forgot about. I saw the episode of Castle where Lou Ferrigno Hulk was on the TV screen for like a minute or less. So there you go. On to facts. I'll start with the budget of this film, which was about $150 million, and the box office of 265.6 million.
Okay.
So a lot of people talked about, did this movie flop? Did it bring its money back? Because you usually double the budget for a movie because of marketing and stuff. So, but it's definitely not a successful movie, which is
Gotcha.
surprising that the MCU started with a success with Iron Man and then kind of a failure with Incredible Hulk.
Maybe it led to some recasting we'll talk about.
Maybe. On to some more interesting facts than that. All right, so we have Tim Roth, which was the actor for
Emil
doo-doo-doo-doo.
Blonsky.
Blonsky. That's what it is. I only wrote his name like 1,000 times in my notes.
I never wrote his name down. I instead called him Russian born Royal Air Force, Royal Navy Marine on loan to United States. That's what I named him.
That's a much longer name.
You
Yeah,
might
the
write
reason I
that
wrote that
down
every single time is
you
because
wrote a note.
that's just at face value fucking absurd. Like, this wouldn't happen.
Did you just copy paste it because it's on your
Yep,
phone?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Tim Roth was supposed to return as Abomination in Avengers: Age of Ultron, but the character was cut. Roth finally reprised his role in Shang-Chi and She-Hulk. I had no idea. I don't know where he would have fit in Ultron.
I don't know either.
That seems like a random
I
thing
think
to
that would
just
have been
throw in there.
messy. That would have been too much.
I
And
feel
Ultron
like,
and Abomination working together doesn't seem fitting.
It seems weird.
yeah, I don't know if that's how it would have gone down. I feel like how that would have happened is Joss Whedon's on the record for saying this. He said Hulk is a very, very difficult character to write because he's like the battle changes however he's involved. That's one of the reasons why in both Avengers movies the Avengers have to fight him. Because
Yeah,
he works as
power scaling.
he works as a very, very good power scaler. So I feel like Abomination might have been something he wanted to work with in concept in order to balance the power scaling from Hulk away, so that way the Avengers have to work harder to defeat Ultron. Because without the Hulk there, that fight is much harder, and I think that would have been, I'm probably the idea and concept as to why Abomination would have been in the film. I agree though.
Ultron would have seeked him out then or something.
Yeah, I feel like Ultron would have seeked him out because he hacked all of the internet. He'd probably figure out, okay, they're keeping Abomination here. This will be useful to stop the Avengers. So that's kind of where I see that idea in conception. It makes a sort of sense to me. I agree. That would have bloated an already bloated film more, because the film was already introducing us to Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Ultron, and giving us a lot of filler history and fixing a lot of the problems that came along with Phase 2. So that film was already doing a shit ton.
Yeah.
So it's hard to.
Ulysses Claw,
Yeah.
Wakanda, a lot.
Yeah, I remember my Tolkien white boy. Yeah.
Well, that wasn't you, Claus. That was Bilbo.
No.
No, not Martin Freeman. No, Ulysses Claw, Andy Serkis.
Yeah, he
who
plays
Ultron
Gollum.
cuts his hand off.
Yeah.
No, I got that. I thought what Ryder was saying about the token white guy. I was like, that was kind of him in Black Panther.
That's funny. Well, I said Tolkien.
White guy.
Oh, Tolkien. I said Tolkien.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the joke on the set of Black Panther is Bilbo and Andy Serkis were called the Tolkien White Boys as a joke on the story of that set. So anyway, but that's a Black Panther fact that I stole from whoever's going to cover that in the future.
Yeah, riddles in the interrogation room.
All right. Next fact: producer Gail Ann Hurd called the film a requel because a bit of it is a reboot and a bit of it is a sequel to the 2003 Hulk. Indeed, while the two films take place in different continuities, this one does seem to pick up where the 2003 version left off. At the end of the 2003 film, Banner flees the country and wanders the world in search of a cure for his condition. And this film begins with Banner having been on the run for 5 months in search of a cure.
I don't like the idea that this is connected to that film.
Me neither.
I
mean, they even confirm it's in different continuities, but
yeah, I
still.
That makes sense to me because I mean it's still an interesting place to drop the character, so I don't mind that it's quote unquote a requel. But you can tell that the studio was struggling what to do with Hulk because of it keeps changing their mind on what they do, and the actor obviously also keeps changing.
Well, it changed once, just as much as War Machine.
This fact kind of feels like an Evil Dead thing. Like the first Evil Dead is kind of its own continuity, but it is also referenced. That's I don't know.
I think the beginning of this movie with its opening credits tackles kind of just its own story of how Hulk came to be. And
Yes.
while it matches similarities of the 2003, which is fine, of just like a retelling of like how Hulk came, how like Batman's parents died, or how Spider-Man got bit by a spider, I don't think it needs to be in tandem to the 2003 film as a reboot match.
Yeah, it does. It tells the story it needs to in the recap with during the credits. That's all the base knowledge you have to have for the film. Pretty much is told under those underlying images and visuals for the credits or the opening credits of the film.
I'd like not to have Hulk Poodle as a canon MCU creature.
The Hulk Poodle?
Yeah, 2003 Hulk. I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember that. The Hulk
Oh, I
dogs.
saw that movie once, a long time. Yeah, those
Yep.
ugly looking dogs.
Terrible. Let's see. In 2003, director Louis Leterrier, if I can butcher that, revealed his plans for the scrapped sequel. In quote, "There was like Gray Hulk, Red Hulks. There was a lot of good stuff that we were planning."
That's
It doesn't
just
sound like he had much of a plan with that quote. There was Gray Hulk, Red Hulks,
sounds like you had a lot of good concepts,
plural.
my guy. But
Okay. Great.
So I guess Ross and Betty would have turned into Red Hulks, maybe? I don't know.
I can't recall if Red She-Hulk is Betty Ross. I don't think it is.
When I was doing fact stuff, apparently that she is Red Hulk. The
Betty Ross is Red She-Hulk?
Red She-Hulk, yeah.
Okay.
At least an iteration. I don't know if she's every version, but at least one out there she is.
Okay. Gray Hulk is interesting because I know Hulk originally was gray
Mhm.
because of a printing issue with the ink for the comics where it couldn't be where green wasn't available or something, so Hulk was originally gray. And then until they could get the printing press to work better for the comics to be made, he became green, I think.
Yeah. So kind of a weird comment, but then again, that was taken in 2023, which was way later than when this came out. Let's see. The next fact I'll go with, according to Louis Leterrier, again the
director.
director, a final shot where Banner grins as his eyes turn green. It's not really a final shot, but whatever. Was a deliberately ambiguous shot. It was meant to show that Bruce finally learned to control the Hulk for a Hulk sequel, or will become a menace as the villain for the Avengers 2012. Yeah. Ultimately, the Hulk becomes a team player in Avengers, and Banner even reveals his secret of staying calm. He's always angry. Oh, I guess they had two things lined up for that final shot of him.
Well,
Interesting.
Age of Ultron gets its bit of Hulk being the bad guy.
So does
But it's fine.
Avengers.
Yeah,
True.
fighting Thor, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, Hulk is a antagonist at some point in both Avengers movies.
And then Infinity War comes around, and I'm still mad about it.
Yeah, it would have been.
Some of the biggest letdowns of Infinity War is that bit.
Yeah, I agree. Even have you seen the cut scene with Mark Ruffalo from that?
Maybe.
Uh,
Probably.
yeah, it's where he and Hulk kind of come to an
Oh,
agreement,
yes.
and I am
Yes, by the waterfall.
yeah, and I am furious that was cut from the film. I may have issues with the way it was written, but the intention for the character that is conveyed in that scene is super fucking important for going forward. So
Yeah,
I'm
I still go
perpetually
with
angry.
Hulk died at the beginning of Infinity War.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's why he didn't make an appearance at all in any other show or film or anything else. He's dead.
Nothing.
It's a shame.
I'll go with one more fact, and there was a lot of facts for this movie. I was surprised. Uh, Martin Starr was a has a brief appearance in the film as the computer nerd, the one that was given the pizza
Yeah,
slice.
with the pizza.
Yeah. 9 years later, Starr appears as a teacher in Spider-Man: Homecoming. One theory in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is that Starr's character in this film is the younger version of his character in the later film working on his degree. This was later confirmed by Kevin Feige, and to me, that's just Kevin Feige retroactively making things canon. He does that a lot.
Yeah.
But like Tom Holland is the
The little
kid.
kid in Iron Man 2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's
that's
also
not true.
that's not true, but
That's
it's now
retroactive.
canon. Yeah.
Yes. So there you go.
I see the latter of the Iron Man 2 one being that the kid is in a helmet and never named feels more retroactively put in. This one having the same actor be cast later on feels more intentional. Otherwise, they would have cast someone else.
Not necessarily. I mean, this was a unnamed character that had like a
Yes.
5-second scene.
But at the point of Homecoming, they have their streamlined plan of the MCU and everything down to wraps, and Kevin Feige having everything like connected of what having a previous actor come back feels more intentional of like, oh, you've been here before, how are we gonna connect you?
Hasn't the MCU reused actors as different characters?
They have, but
Yeah.
there's explanations to that as well. There's one with Captain America and Homecoming too, where one of the members of the Howling Commandos is the grandfather of the president, or not the president, the principal of the school.
That's a little different, but yeah, that one does have an excuse. So that will be it for the facts. Oh, wow. All right, there you go. We will go. Well, actually, do you have any other facts?
I
between
did
the two?
double check it. Bill Bixby played Bruce Banner in the original show. He passed away in '93. So if he is in this movie, it's a shot from something of his previous work.
Yeah, it was from um, a different show he was in.
Oh, okay.
I came across it during my facts at one point, but I didn't write that one down. All right, let's jump into the coverage. We are going with popcorn for this one because why not? Starting with writer.
All right. I think we kind of touched on it, but I'll talk about the opening credits, because we kind of fast track forward through like the everything that we need to know about Banner as a character, and well, at least the backstory as to why he's in the middle of nowhere, because we can theoretically deduce everything else because we blatantly see his face undergoing some sort of experiment before he becomes the Hulk and almost kills everybody. Um, I think it works mostly, as far as just doing a quick catch up in the credits. Um, I think there's a lot of minor character stuff that's done for Bruce Banner to kind of help support like the foundation of where he is as a character, and tell us a little bit about like the others that are with him, um, being Ross and Betty. Um, and I think it works. I would say it's not quite as strong as Iron Man's opening, between the quick hook and then switching over to like the presentation all within 5 minutes. I'd say it's a little slower than that, but I think we still get a good grasp of at least what we're starting with. I think.
I was getting overloaded with all the stuff there.
Overloaded.
Well, yeah, because we're doing a podcast. I kept having to pause and read an article or blurb on a photo to see if there was any like weird continuities happening
For Hulk or Iron Man?
For Hulk, I imagine.
for Hulk.
Okay. Because Iron Man had it too with the presentation.
Well, we're watching Hulk.
I know, but
Um,
writer brought up Iron Man as an example to the difference of the openings. So it's,
well,
yeah.
for Incredible Hulk, it was a lot getting thrown. Without having to pause and stuff, yeah, I think they do deliver the information well enough. But there was some weird dates being thrown around in some of those photos.
Yeah, I didn't
There
pause,
was one
so
from 2004, which doesn't fit the continuity because all the other events happening are in 2006. Uh, the actual event was on March 7th, and he contacted Elizabeth on February. So it's just a bunch of random dates they were kind of throwing out on those photos and articles.
Yes, the movie does feel like a bit of that. Like how much time has actually gone by. I have a couple examples later to question about. This movie is very much before going a little off topic, and then I'll come back. This movie is definitely one where my objective, I feel like, is fully going to change depending on how well you guys can help me answer some questions.
Mhm.
Right now, it's not set in stone where I have it, but gosh darn, my train of thought. Something about Iron Man I had, but I forgot. Oh, yes, Crimson. I don't know if you found any new facts, but it's something I've heard, and if you don't have it, it's fine because we can get it for the next two films coming up. But is it true that the events of The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, and Thor all take place within the same week?
Yep, that is something I did not come across.
Thor and
Okay.
Iron Man 2, yes, that's confirmed. And if you've seen Iron Man 2, you know exactly why. Um, Hulk, I have no clue.
Okay. And just like I think the end of Hulk, not, earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think uh, it could work. Spoiler alert: there's a short that includes the end credit scene for this film, called "The Consultant," that is on the phase, like in the timeline. You're supposed to watch it after you see Thor the movie, and it puts everything kind of perspective. All this stuff happening in a close proximity of time, but it doesn't establish a timeline for the Incredible Hulk. While with Iron Man, we have a very Iron Man 2. We have a very specific timeline on how that fits together with Thor.
Okay. I guess it's just a fact. Maybe we'll find later to more iron it out. Um, but to go with the opening thing, I think it's very tight and good that we don't have to spend 20 to 40 minutes of a setup of a character to get to the like origin of how they came to be. Just doing it within the opening credits to give the other 2 hours of this movie to something else involving Hulk afterwards. I feel maybe not 100% with the pacing of the film, but it does give that sense of like we don't have to go through the whole origin thing, the whole origin story again.
Yes, I'm of two minds of that. I think it works for this movie. Just as the way I think of like with Iron Man, and we needed those 40 minutes to put him on the arc to get to the origin story.
With Iron Man, yes. With Hulk, if they wanted to achieve everything they did within this 2 hour movie, I think it would have been very choppy and fastly paced.
Yeah,
If they added 20 minutes at the beginning here to of 20 minutes of that 2 hours, not to add 20 minutes
yeah,
to give how he came to be.
yeah. I agree. I don't really have any points of contention with that. I'm obviously for me it's a case by case scenario when it comes to something like that. It's how the film makes it
Edward
work.
Mhm. Edward Norton was involved in the writing for this, and he brought up. I don't know if he was the one that brought up the concept, but he at least talked about the idea of we know the origins of the Hulk, kind of like what they did with Homecoming and Spider-Man, where they're like, everyone knows Spider-Man's origins, we don't need to show it. Here, I feel like far more people know the Spider-Man origin than Hulk origin, but
Yeah.
um, that's what
That's
was
true.
being
And
stated.
some origins of Hulk change. I think there's some comics where it's an actual gamma bomb going off and Hulk didn't get inside a bunker fast enough.
There is a yeah. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but Iron Man was a very obscure. Well, obscure in the sense of like nobody outside the comic book industry really knew who that character was before Iron Man the film, which is why they went through such lengths to explain the character. I would imagine Hulk was a little bit more mainstream.
I heard people said like Iron Man was like a C or B lister in the comics, but
Yeah,
I'm not a comic person. I don't know how much on that.
That's hard to tell,
yeah. And because I mean,
especially nowadays.
we all grew
Well,
up
yeah,
in
now.
essentially in the post Iron Man movie era. That Iron Man was definitely the movie, meaning was part of our childhood in some form or fashion. So it is very hard for us to gauge that. But that's the story
True.
I've been
Well,
told a lot, is that he was a C-lister character that the film elevated to such prominence that he became one of the mainstays.
yes. Opposed from the two of you, I was a comic fan before
Yeah.
MCU films. So, but Iron Man just never was my interest of character because I just went, he's a robot. He's just a robot guy, and that didn't seem very interesting to me. But um, with the you brought up Crimson, how Edward Norton was attached to the writing of this team, which I know it has so much facts of that of main concern and reason why he wasn't cast to come back. Like it was just so many problems with him fighting.
Yes. Yeah, he butt heads a lot with the other writer and Kevin Feige and pretty much anyone involved in the creative side because he had his own vision of what he wanted out of this. Because he was actually a Hulk fan going into this. He knew about it. He even rejected it originally, and then he read the script and hopped on board if he could edit it. So,
Yeah. I do think
he was very hands on.
we could probably talk about the casting. I actually do very much like the actors. I like Edward Norton as Bruce Banner, as the character. I think he's a good choice. There's probably one scene in the movie where I was uh, disappointed with, I guess, the delivery of the material.
Interesting. I'm on the flip side. I don't like Edward Norton as Bruce Banner.
I think he's okay as Bruce Banner. I definitely take him over Mark Ruffalo, but that's not a surprise to you too, because I've
I'm
talked about
opposite. I think Mark Ruffalo
that.
plays a great Bruce Banner.
They're
But
this is gonna tie into the bit of the Rhodey conversation. I think they play very different Bruce Banners. I think Mark Ruffalo's fits more into the MCU, obviously, than I think Edward Norton would have. But there
You
are,
could not make this movie with Mark Ruffalo.
yeah, exactly.
no, Mark Ruffalo's too campy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting thinking how Edward Norton would play in the other films that Hulk's in.
Yeah, I
He
would.
wouldn't be as timid.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I don't
he would be a
think he
lot
needs to
more.
be.
Yeah, he wouldn't be as timid. Yeah, he wouldn't be as timid. And I was thinking about this, and I'm like, I would pay money to see Edward Norton act across Robert Downey Jr. because those are like A-class actors right there.
Yes, but Edward Norton's take on Banner, I feel like would have been too, not too similar, but just maybe a little more oil and water versus opposites attract with how Ruffalo and Downey do it
Yeah,
of their relationship.
yeah. I
I just don't
feel
know the on-screen chemistry. I don't think would work as well.
the on-screen chemistry would be changed. It wouldn't be what we have right now. Given the oil and water example, I view it more as like they would develop a grudging respect for each other, but I don't think this Banner would like Stark at all until like they had developed a grudging respect. So it would be a lot more confrontational between them than it would. That would then transfer into something a little bit more meaningful as the story, as the MCU went along.
Yeah, but they perfectly already gave that to Cap and Tony.
Yeah, well, I mean, Cap and Tony are ideologically opposed, not like personality opposed.
True.
And I use the word ideologically opposed loosely because I think one of the beautiful things about Cap and Stark, because they are my favorite, they have my favorite back and forth in the MCU, is that they always come together when needed. That's why I always like them.
Suit up. Yeah. Is the opening to this film tone of genre supposed to be thriller?
Own.
I was trying to get what the feel of what they're trying to do is, because it wasn't horror.
I guess thriller would be a way of saying it. It kind of felt like an act, like not action, like a spy montage. Obviously, the visuals don't convey spy stuff, but just the way it's
Spy.
like cut feels like a spy thing.
Mm.
Well, if we can
To me, it was
edit
just
the
the
Mission Impossible music over it, I think we can definitely classify it as a spy thriller.
maybe I don't know the fact of Betty falling unconscious on dead bodies, and then Ross coated in blood, just like hand raised in fear. I don't know. It just gave like a thriller sense, but the music wasn't really
Yeah,
connecting to what was on screen fully.
I admit I got
Could just be
more
a
of
me thing.
yeah, I got more of a horror sense with it, or in the sense of like because of the unknown, like because it's a POV shot for a lot of those. I definitely got more of a sense of horror, but that again might just be me.
Okay.
Yeah, was it director? There was someone involved in the creation of it was talking about how they wanted this one to be more of an action thriller to the 2003 one because to them it was very laughable. Anything happened in that movie,
Oh yeah,
so they
putting
didn't want
Hulk in
this one to be laughable.
silly putty, whatever they did.
Yeah, so that could go towards the vibes you're going
Yeah.
for, the themes.
I guess I'm glad in this one they never talk about Bruce Banner's dad. That's a big plus.
Yeah,
He has a dad.
Oh, in the 2003 one,
2003.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Um, Crimson, I have an overarching thing for you, and I'm curious what Ryder would think about this, but it's more posed to you, Crimson. It
Okay.
could just be of the time of 2008 and how this was filmed, but I didn't get this at all with Iron Man. The action sequences felt very much like National Treasure.
Interesting. You want to dive more into that?
Like the
What?
camera work, the pacing, the beat of the music to cuts felt like National Treasure with their chase scene where they're running with the splitting up the group, or the car chase with the Declaration of Independence. It felt similar.
I'm running through my head because when you're talking like running through the streets with the Declaration, I'm now jumping to like Abomination running through the streets with throwing cars and
No,
thinking
not
if I
about
could.
more like
Uh,
when they're at the university and the army comes in and the trucks are driving over the grass,
okay. I can kind of
or
see that in
in
that
Brazil
example.
when the Spec Op team is trying to get Banner
Jumping through the roofs and stuff.
the roofs. Yeah.
Um. So yeah, I guess more on like the establishing action stuff and not so much the fights, but yeah, establishing action. I would say I can get those vibes from.
And Ryder,
I don't think I've seen enough National Treasure to get that vibe. I took this as its own thing. Like I didn't make the connection just because I've seen National Treasure before the podcast, and Crimson has yet to make me rewatch it. So
Well, you can watch it on your own. It's a
I
good
did enjoy it,
franchise.
but
Minus the
forget.
show.
I did enjoy
I
it,
totally forget.
but I could just watch anime or something.
I totally forgot. Ryder, did you see Book of Secrets, the second
No,
one?
he did not all the way, right?
I was there for the podcast. Yes, I did see all of Book of Secrets.
He wasn't. Okay, I was blanking. It's Edge of History.
It's Edge of History, the show. I saw
Oh,
the first
okay.
few episodes for.
Yeah,
Sorry, that was ages ago.
It's been a while.
it was a while ago. Let's see. I will bring up more on, I guess, just this intro bit with the whole montage. I was just curious how the heck Bruce got in to see. Um, I just wrote her as Elizabeth in my notes,
That's fine.
but what we're going to call her, I guess, as a
I just go with
collective.
Betty.
I
Betty
just called
rules.
her Liv because that's also short for Elizabeth.
Well, I guess we're going to have our own names. Well,
But yeah,
so he
I'll
went
call her
in to
Betty.
see Elizabeth, and then Ross was yelling at a soldier to go after him, and he walks out into the light. And I'm just like, how? How did he get in here? There's no way he got in here.
Into a hospital?
I mean,
Yeah,
the best
about
assumption I
the
can
events
make
that
is
just
that he
happened.
wasn't a prisoner yet, and then he didn't have that conversation with Ross yet. Ross wanted to weaponize him. So he wasn't restricted or anything yet. That's my only guess. But as you said, that is one of my issues that I had because it's very unclear how and why that happened. So that's why I said there's some minor issues that crop up here as well. If that would be one of them.
It could also be being how early on it is. Ross could be in the situation where Blonsky kind of was not really piecing together at that point of time that Norton or that Banner and Hulk are kind of one and the same, and the Hulk situation wasn't just like a one-off situation that occurred. So maybe he wasn't seen as a threat in that moment to be in the hospital, but upon more instances or more how dangerous Banner became, posed more as a threat as the fugitive.
Yeah,
Kind of seems like a leap.
yeah. Like I
That
said, that's going
It's a bit of a
to.
leap, but I'm just trying to think of like how Banner was able to walk in without anyone getting him.
Yeah, like I said, my the obvious reason is he's just not restricted yet. So I feel like that's where a lot of it would come from. At least my idea as to why they wouldn't have restricted him yet. Maybe Ross
Also,
we
would.
Banner
have
being a scientist
Yeah,
is
so
not
we
maybe.
seen
have
as a
Sorry.
threat.
failed experiment monster that killed a couple scientists and wounded him and his daughter, and then got away, presumably. I feel like he would have people on alert. That makes reasonable sense, especially with what we know of Ross. He might be dumb, but he also does take precautions to some degree.
Yes.
Yeah, I have no idea how
I
Ross
just
became a 3-star general, but that is a story we'll get
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
He's the same
that's a
rank
common
as
question.
Ulysses S. Grant, and I call bullshit.
Well, let's go to a Springs point.
Okay, it's been trying to go with the time thing. When it shows Brazil of where Banner is, it's 158 days without an incident.
Mhm.
And then when wakes up in Guatemala, I kept trying to pause it right when the number came up to see what it was at, and the best guess I have was at 190 before it went down to 1. So it has 32 days passed since the beginning here to the Guatemala scene.
Um, hmm, I didn't see the counter thing. I mean, it could. So it's like a ramping down to 0. Is that what you're referring to?
When he wakes up by the waterfall in Guatemala in all torn pants, the number I think starts at 190 and then goes down to 1. But the first instance seen him in Brazil, it says 158. So that's a 32-day difference. It would help
Uh,
explain how his package of blood got to Mr. Blue in response for the message to be received if it's in a month time.
yeah. I mean, I think there's enough to work with that's plausible and reasonable. I kind of when you first pitch, I'm like, I mean, they could have had an arbitrary number, but giving it a month of the whole communications stuff, I think that seems reasonable.
I feel
It,
Because
like
at this
that.
point,
I
I
feel
feel
like
the
it
that.
helps
military
because
doesn't
they
have
don't.
anything to go for.
Yeah, but they don't really tell you days or times or anything. So it feels like, is this 3 days? Is this 1 week? And that's the only thing I could really kind of grasp on that actually gave a implement of time between the two events.
Yeah, I mean, at a time of, I guess, peace in air quotes, I don't think the time is that important. But when we get to the more like he's getting hunted, that's the more important information. Because if we're like, oh, it's been 2 weeks and they've been chasing him, what's happened in these 2 weeks?
They
Why haven't they
haven't
gotten
left
him?
Virginia yet.
Yeah. So when he's on the chase, then I can see the time. But right now he's not really against the clock.
Okay, Ryder, you were gonna throw something in there.
Yes. I thought we were in Portugal at the start of the film. I know the drink is Brazilian, and but because they're speaking Portuguese or he's practicing Portuguese, I thought we were like on a very different part of the continent or part of the world for a large portion of the film here at the beginning.
I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation, but
I know, me too.
it's Rosina Favel, Brazil.
Yes.
And then when he wakes up and he's in Guatemala, um, from the driver. But I guess they speak Portuguese in that part of Brazil.
Yeah, it's totally reasonable. I was just under I until they mentioned, oh, it's a Brazilian drink. That's when I realized that we were in a different spot.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Um, it
uh
also helps. Oh, sorry. Just a little thing to add on. I think it also helps with the time frame situation of what feels like, because it could be spliced in a way, but Banner is learning Portuguese by watching like Sesame Street and reading books. And what he learns from Grover on Sesame Street is the word hunger and hungry. And later, when he confronts the gang members or coworkers, he says hungry. And I don't know if that's just fresh on his mind from the morning, but if it's been days that have passed since then, it makes a little more sense for him to trip up.
Oh yeah, I mean, I took 2 years of Spanish, and I know Spanish words in my brain. I don't remember what they're associated with.
But if
So
you
I,
learn
I
the word that morning, I feel like, I don't know.
yeah,
I feel like he's
I
not
think
occupied
learn
too
is
much.
loose.
yeah.
If he's learning air quote the word from a TV show early in the morning once, I don't know if that's enough for me to say, yep, he's retained it. I think there's more wiggle room.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been thinking about
Because there's also
where.
the meditation scene where where the guy's like talking to him about control your anger. So he's hearing that word present there, but that's not the word he uses. So just makes more sense to me if time has passed to forget.
Yeah, there. I'm trying to think of the most obvious instances to convey that time has passed. There's obviously the drink that was being shipped off has now killed the Watcher Stanley, and then or a version of Stanley, whichever one. That's an obvious time transition of time passing. The other one is the his package of blood was sent off and then responded to that they had done a bunch of preliminary testing with it. Those I think are the only two instances that really convey outside of the obvious like daytime calendar thing that comes up for the day since incidents. Those are the two main things I think of that convey that time has passed in the beginning without necessarily being overt to the audience.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
I guess.
background
And then
stuff.
also Ross getting a troop together to be able to be sent.
Yeah. He had to find out what was happening, then he had to get a group together, and then he had to be there.
Yeah.
So a day.
No.
The U.S. military could do
24
that in a
hours.
day, but not if they're going to sneak up on somebody.
Yeah, we don't know where that starting base was to take off from.
Sneak in air quotes because they freaking blow open the doors. That
Yeah,
could have
the sneak
immediately
under the
stressed them
door,
out.
All right.
being all
Yeah.
stealth, and then just like breach.
Yeah. My favorite part of that whole escape sequence is Ross takes the time to get out of the car to make sure Banner sees him. Where the car could have just kept going and then they could surprise Banner by sending troops out of the car. It was very
I have a
dumb.
nitpick for that.
How do you know he was there?
He
And
knew he was in the vicinity, but
yeah.
at the time, I don't know.
You have a nitpick you
My
want to add
nitpick
on
for
to
that,
it?
yeah, for that scene is when he gets out of the car and it shows Banner, and then it cuts back to Ross. When it cuts back to Ross, there's a sound effect of a door closing. So they close the door on him, and the next shot of Ross is in the truck.
Yeah, it's because he obviously gets back in the truck as soon as Banner runs a different direction.
Why
But
did they close the door? Why add that? It
Oh
seemed
no.
it seems silly. I don't get the point of adding that sound effect.
I mean, I don't get the point
You
of the
made it
scene at
worse.
all. If Ross wouldn't get out of the fucking car, this
Yeah, I'm with that.
is
You know, it's funny. He has
really
such
dumb scene.
spite for Banner to get out of the car immediately upon Banner turning a corner, but when Betty's in front of a tank, he hesitates.
It's Ross is a funny character. I hate him in this
But
film.
but William Hurt is wonderfully cast
Oh yes, I have to
as
specify.
Ross, opposed to Harrison Ford. Sorry, Harrison
Well,
Ford, phenomenal actor, but
I mean,
it's
the
not the same.
the guy who played Ross in the 2003 Hulk wanted the role back in this film, and he got
Oh,
denied. But yeah, I think they did a good job casting him in this.
I agree. He's a very good choice for Thunderbolt Ross.
Let's go with a writer point.
That was my point. But sure, I'll jump another one.
Let's go with another one.
Yeah. I will jump to. I'm a little annoyed that. Okay, they take painstaking steps. One thing I do like. So let me start at the beginning of this scene, which is the manager of the factory really likes Banner, so he's willing to be patient with him when Banner's like screaming at him to shut it off, so he can prevent his blood from being washed away. Good stuff. I like that little bit because we have the moment where he's fixing the machine and before he cuts himself. I don't know how he cut himself, but we're just gonna say he does.
Loose wire or just like
I
rusty metal.
Yeah, that's my
Because
assumption.
he just he took it
Movie
apart.
thing.
I don't think it's a movie thing. I think it's just not up to date electronics.
Yeah, my best faith assumption is that it's just there's something that he just happened to catch like a rusted edge that was like dented and like had an edge to it that cut him. That's my best faith assumption because that's a lot of blood that comes out. It's not a small drop that comes out. My issue with this scene is that Banner, as depicted, would be so much more paranoid that he wouldn't just assume that the first thing he finds is the drop of blood. He would actually go down the line because the line was going for quite a bit before he got down there. So he would have double checked and triple checked.
Yes.
It's out of character that he accepted it so easily. Like, oh, this is everything. He was paranoid enough.
It wasn't so obvious on that bottle.
Yeah.
That's my issue.
Yeah.
Because that proves that Banner was blind.
Yeah, it proves that Banner was blind, and I also think he would be paranoid enough to take the time to double check the line of bottles in front of it for a good distance before he gave the okay that they needed to start. So I view this as a character problem, and it's also clearly a visual problem because of how big the drop of blood clearly is.
It is a visual problem because it's a movie moment scene. Upon showing the bottle with the blood, it is not present until shown in that one shot. It's not up close where Banner found one piece of blood because it wouldn't make sense for his blood to be in two separate locations when it shows it falling connected. So it's not on the close shot bottles and it's not on the kind of wider shot of Banner looking or cleaning it up.
Yeah.
It's not until they come around the corner that we see the shot of it on. So, movie moment.
Movie moment. I got some character issues with it.
On the topic of the blood, we have these moments in movie shows and even games where the creators talk about how long it takes to do a shot or a visual effects. Like Spirit took them 6 months to do that opening canyon stuff,
and like 2 minutes to drag a PNG across.
Yeah. Then like Batman Arkham Asylum, what took him like 6 years to get the cape physics right or something like that.
Oh yeah, I think it was 8 years to get the physics
something
down.
like that. Long time. In this, it took them a year to do the drop of blood scene.
That's insane.
Insane.
That's wild.
I couldn't believe it when I read that.
Man, computer graphics back in the day required a lot of work.
I guess I don't see it.
Yeah,
I don't understand why it took so long.
Yeah, I mean, like this is gonna go back to Lord of the Rings because compare a lot of movies to that because I just know a lot about it. But like the Lord of the Rings, they had like 2 years of prep on the CGI work that they needed to do. So they had a full year of planning, and that's when they started doing all the CGI stuff. Then, so that way the CGI just got continuously better as the films came out.
Yeah, so much better that the orc armies ran away from the other army that they had to fix.
Yeah.
But yeah, for a year on a 2008 CGI usage, blood doesn't look amazing.
No.
Looks good.
It doesn't look good.
I mean, it's fine, but it's not like mind-blowing.
It's not the holy grail of CGI. This is not the Brachiosaurus in Jurassic Park.
It's not the worst use of CGI in the movie, for me at least.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
No, it's not that bad.
Oh, should we go down the line?
Here. I mean, sure, you can go first. I don't know if I have one.
I think the worst use of CGI in this movie is at the end when Abomination has that police car above the military truck, and he's talking. I forget his line, but he's like talking to them before he drops the police car on them to cut their fee to Ross. His facial movement looks really bad.
I guess. I think just Abomination's face in general doesn't look very good to me.
Oh, I just don't think Abomination looks good.
He looks better than Batman v Superman Doomsday.
Okay, but that's not a high bar.
I'll still give him a plus for it.
Yeah. It was weird that they cast the troll from Lord of the Rings and as Doomsday in the Batman vs Superman, but it was good. It was good
it's
casting.
a naked Ninja Turtle. It didn't. Ugh.
Yeah, I agree. I have shockingly a lot of issues with Zack Snyder's depiction of my superheroes in DC, but to add a little bit more on this blood scene, the last thing I have to say is this is a very, very weak plot device to get the story moving. The entire story, the entire film relies upon Banner.
His cover getting blown.
Yeah, Banner being an idiot and not double checking. The movie moment of just the bottle not existing until it's in frame, and it has to go all the way to somebody in the United States, which is lucky that it was even that particular crate was even shipped to the United States for Ross to even get a chance to it. It's a very, very weak way to get the story going. So
it's a weaker, faster way. I don't think it's necessarily the only way, because eventually I think Ross would have connected with S.H.I.E.L.D. to be able to catch Mr. Blue and Mr. Green's conversation.
Yes. I feel like that would have been a better reveal by having just instead of what we have, because it's just a very weak, as you say, it's faster. Doesn't mean it's well written though, the way that they kind of get the story going with this. It's very, very mechanically constructed. This is entirely just a plot device. And and unfortunately that damaged the character.
I see, yeah. I don't know what they would have done differently.
Yeah, that's the that would be the trick. You had to figure out something better to do to get your plot moving. Maybe Banner was maybe it was the package that tipped something off. Or something else to that effect. So like they already knew who Mr. Blue was, or because of the package that was sent, they thought it was. There's ways they can. I think there's other ways they could have done it that would be more. It wouldn't be as such a weak like plot.
Silly.
Yeah, it wouldn't be so soily, and it wouldn't have damaged Bruce Banner as a character at this point because he's desperate. So him sending his blood is shown as a bit of an act of desperation. And I like that. It's in character for him to do that at this point, which is why I think that would be an easier picking point to like make something go wrong, to kind of through that desperation of him wanting to be cured rather than his desperation of trying to remain hidden. Makes it more character oriented and wouldn't have damaged his character as much, I think. I don't know what I would do to get the plot moving quicker, but that's just like off the top of my head. I just know what we got is not the best way I think to have gotten the story going.
Where do you stand, Crimson?
I've been running through. I'm like, how can we get his blood without him looking incompetent? And I'm having issues with it. I was thinking, what if we had a scene of him like going through the forest, jungles, whatever, looking for this flower, and he cuts himself on a plant that happens to be like a farming crop that gets farmed or something. I don't know. It's kind of tricky how to do that.
Yeah, I mean the easy thing is just to have someone like have a random spy see him, like because seeing that face, he's like, that look. I mean, I'm just gonna say it, the United States military has ears everywhere. There's spies in a lot of other countries. This shouldn't surprise people. I wouldn't put it past them because I think if I recall correctly, Rio de Janeiro and this area of South America had a lot of issues with gangs. I wouldn't be surprised if an agent infiltrated the gangs and they just happened to spot Bruce Banner and thought his face looked familiar, and that could connect the story a little bit better. It's still a lot more. It's still very, very convenient, but
Yeah,
just
that's
the
what I was gonna say.
yeah. It's like I said. It's difficult. I can't think of anything off the top of my head to make this work better. I would need to sit down and like properly think about it. Um, but I just know what we got is deficient. It's
Mm,
not easy being a writer.
yeah. Like, I don't know if I like that idea more.
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's better. I just think it's like I can maybe I can see that working more justifiably, without it being relying on luck, because that relies on convenience more so than it does luck, and convenience is still bad, but
I don't know. It would have to fall into how they did it because it feels very shoehorned just for have a spy to be there.
yeah.
So they're all over the world just kind of for banner in
No,
sense
no, it wouldn't be
because
for
they
banner.
don't need to.
It wouldn't be for banner. It'd be
Well, they don't
related to
need to
something else.
explain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they have to add into what the other thing else is, and I don't think they would because it wouldn't relate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the reason I thought of the gang thing is because we already have a gang here, kind of. So that could sort of tie into that a little bit. Don't necessarily need to do overboard with it. I'm just, like I said, that's just off the top of my head.
Yeah,
I got nothing more to add for this point. It's just, it's very weak what gets the story going. That's the heart of what I'm trying to say.
gotcha.
Thanks. You got a point.
I sure do. I think we brought this up in Iron Man of the water scene, or like when they're going to the Ironmonger, and there's just this water aesthetic look to make it look creepy or eerie. I kind of feel like they just have steam all over this factory just for an aesthetic.
Yeah, but steam in a factory isn't entirely out of the question. You
Well,
know,
no, but it's on like I don't understand why it's coming up from on floor 2 and it's not, faded.
I can't tell you. I don't work at a bottle plant. I don't
Bottle
know
plant
if
soda
at
factory.
nighttime. I I don't know if the machines cool at night and really steam or something. I don't know, but
I'm
it's
not,
definitely more
you
of
know,
an aesthetic. I can agree with the
okay, I'm
purpose
not
of it
going with
is.
it's not feasible of like, oh, Steam would never do this in a situation of like this time era of this, but no, not with that. It's just like it just seems there's so much of it in every kind of shot or corner of this factory that it feels more like a sauna. And I think it's just for the aesthetic of like the shadowy layering or kind of look, or how everything kind of looks like this dull yellow grain. I don't really know what to call the filter on the beginning of this movie. It changes when they're out of Brazil, but like this Brazil filter is this yellowy tint, and the it kind of darkens the shadows a bit more intensely. So the steam kind of gives it more of that light white offset. But I don't know if that's the reason for it, or it just felt very aesthetically set.
I'll agree. There's a reason behind it for the just the vibe of the scene and to cloak the Hulk when the Hulk is present.
I think that was also to save budget.
Oh, absolutely.
Potentially, I mean, 150 million,
It's
pretty
not
good
nothing, but
chunk.
Yeah, how
CGI
much do you think that blood
costs.
cost?
Yeah.
A year's worth of pay. That's what.
Yeah, so putting the Hulk in shadows, offset the blood cost.
Well, I don't know. I think that whole bit was more for not revealing the Hulk too early, less budgetary. They were
That's
just
true.
showing
Give it more of a
snippets of his
horror.
body. The shot which I liked of like the explosion or whatever behind him and his shadow emitting through the smoke was a good
Oh, the
shot.
flashbang thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they used it more as a tool to keep Hulk not revealed too early, more than anything.
I mean, I said it earlier. I think this Hulk looks cool. He looks really like a. I think I wrote my notes like a punk badass like version of Hulk or something. Like just the pores on his skin and like the sweat, and then later when it's raining, seeing the beads of rain on him.
Well, just seeing his like every fiber flex.
Yeah.
It's
I think my only downside is his head looks a little small for his whole body.
not as much muscle in one's head, so They only exercise that. No, yeah, you kind of touched on it, Sprinks, that this has been dethroned, I guess, for you as your favorite Hulk look, but this
Yes.
is my favorite Hulk look still.
Oh, my favorite Hulk look now is Age of Ultron.
Okay. It's not bad. I just
I like
like
the
that
little
this
darker
feels
green.
like 100% muscle.
Yeah, this feels like a brute force.
I can look at this and believe he's bulletproof. That
Yeah, this is someone who
anything
touches you,
else
you're
is just
dead.
a tough dude. Yeah.
The Mark Ruffalo one is like you might be brushed out of the way and go to the hospital, but this one is like, especially with what happened with Blonsky with the kick.
Dude, I I love that scene. It's so funny. I've always liked that. Is that all you got? Kicked into a tree into oblivion. His bones have ground into gravel.
It's
Good stuff.
crazy. I wish they showed his face more. Blonsky's like damage.
I
Yeah.
I wish Blonsky died like he was supposed to be honest.
But he's got super serum whatever in him.
Super serum -1 or whatever.
A reduced dosage, as the Ross said. Yeah.
Like I said, all I'm saying is you're still dead after that. Super serum or not,
Yeah, I would agree.
I look. I love Cap. He would not survive that.
No, a full kick from Angry Hulk.
Steve
Yeah.
Rogers,
No, well, I mean, what I'm saying is because it's depicted, it hit his head. Look, I don't care what super soldier, how much of a super soldier you are. You're not coming back from a blasted brain and a snapped neck.
no.
So I love Steve, but Steve would not survive that either.
And
So
Steve isn't Thor. I can believe Thor taking
Thor
this.
can take it.
Oh,
Yes.
Thor can
I
take it.
can't take it.
Yeah. I
Sorry,
no offense to
I'm still
Blonsky,
on.
Steve has more super serum.
Yeah, I'm still on Brave New World stuff. Have you two
Oh,
seen that one?
You mean non-super
Just
Sam?
yeah, Sam Wilson against Red Hulk just does it baffles me.
Yeah, maybe that film isn't good. Just just a thought.
I have not seen it
I
yet.
don't know.
But
I don't know. I cannot say until we cover it. Sorry, audience.
oh gosh. Ryder, you can go next.
All right. I find it funny. The Russian Royal Navy Marine on loan to the U.S. is only interested in Banner if he's a fighter, and my joke was breaking stereotypes. Are we?
Is he a fighter? I mean, I will say this about Blonsky: they set him up pretty well, even though he's kind of one note.
He's very one note, but yes, I will say he's set up. I don't have many issues with Blonsky.
Some people might not like my response to this. Out of the 3 versions of Blonsky in the MCU, this one's my favorite.
Well, you got this. You got like hippie loser in She-Hulk, and you got cage brawling ugly Fin Face in Shang-Chi.
Fin Face.
So,
Well, Fin Face is a little more comic accurate.
I don't care about comic accuracy. I care about what I'm looking at, and what I'm looking at is a disgusting thing, an
Well,
abomination. One would say.
Squidward.
Yeah. So yes, this is my favorite version of him too.
Gotcha. Kind of more a little on the blood thing. At 7:15, when Banner's like fixing the electrical problem, the camera turns to handheld in the middle of a sentence, and I went, "That's weird. Why are they going with like this? Oh, unsettling handheld point?" And then like, "Oh, he got cut by the blood." It seemed. I didn't. I don't think it's good. I think that's where I'm settled with it. It should have just been a stationary cut, so the blood was actually more of a jump, like oh oh shit, oh he's got to clean that up, versus kind of like a foreshadow with camera work.
I mean, I didn't really take much issue with it, and it's not the only time they use handheld in this film either. I don't know. I was okay with it. Are you saying this is an objective flaw or like a preference you would have just preferred a different
Preference.
one? Okay.
Preference. It doesn't negatively affect objective, but it would have possibly raised it if it was more like a cut edit to the blood cut, which they do, but not setting up prior.
I see. Okay. I will talk about Martina, I guess, the worker that was getting harassed. I'm not a fan of him saving her by bringing up like a date idea or going out to eat, and then there's nothing after that. We don't see him taking her home or her saying thanks or anything. It's just cut to him at his place. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird that we don't really get a conclusion to that. And then later when he's escaping, he like kisses her. I'm like, oh, was there something? What happened? I feel like we're missing something.
This
I
might
don't know. The love department's more between you two.
this might sound weird. I thought they were in the same. They lived together because it's her downstairs, right?
That's what I thought. Does she just
Yeah.
live in the apartment right below him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was just the same apartment, and she was just downstairs taking a shower from where he usually sleeps.
No, it's not
Actually,
a
wait.
2-story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an apartment. Where they breach the door, they're on like level street, but out the window he goes down. So it's like he's up.
Yeah. Okay.
They're the same building, but he's a higher
He's on
road.
the 9th floor. Yeah.
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 So
So
yeah,
I don't have much issue of her just living in the same complex, but them not establishing like what happened after him saving her, I don't like it at all.
I agree. I like
Yes.
the usage to stealing one of Springs' lines. I like the usage of that to kind of demonstrate Banner is a good person, but because we have no epilogue or follow through with it, I feel it is very, very underdeveloped. Though I like that she doesn't turn him in. That's, I guess, is the payoff for it. But we still don't get anything else for it. So I'm leaning towards also it's very underdeveloped and I don't really know what happened and shit like that.
I do think it's underdeveloped. The kiss for thank you I see is more just a generosity, platonic, and not romantic involved at all. Not like they like off screen they had a relationship going on.
See, I can't rule that out because you could tell she was interested in him before she was harassed. She was like ogling him, and he saved her. He he looked at her and stuff. So I can't really just assume that the kiss is just a goodbye kiss. I can see it as a goodbye kiss or a romantic kiss because we cut away from what happened afterwards. Did they go on a date? Did they not? Did she even thank him? I don't know.
It goes into that thing where it's like time has passed, but don't know what the connection was.
But the problem with this is their connection is relevant.
She doesn't scream and turn him
She
in.
saved him. Yeah, she saved him.
Yes,
and
but
we
he
don't
does cover her
fully
mouth.
grasp everything.
He covers her mouth to keep her quiet.
Yeah, but she doesn't fight back or anything. She just sits and goes with it. She doesn't struggle like she's scared of him or anything.
Oh, I think she can pick that up with the previous scene of how he's not a fighter. He tries to use his words to, de-escalate situations. Which may be why she's drawn
One
to him.
could say that. We don't know her as a character, so I don't know how astute she is.
No, I just go with she is interested in him, maybe just because he's a foreigner. But all these other guys are the gang members are very upfront and touchy and vulgar and harassment. And Banner's not, even though he does use his meditation kind of like moves when he's being attacked, but it's all defensively. But he tries to de-escalate situations, which seems more calmer and inviting. Then again, this is just me and how I see it, but I do wish there was a little more. I am in full agreement of that to understand more of a connection or the only person down below who would have allowed, because when Banner leaves the dummy in the Spec Ops team, he goes out that window really fast, and by the time they breach, he like his head probably just went out of view from the windowsill by how it's timed, because as they're looking through the room, he's still going down the rope. So
Yeah.
to make a connection previously of someone he knows who isn't the boss or isn't one of the gang member coworkers, to be someone who's actually kind of warm and inviting to him, it makes sense the only person that it could work with, unless he just went all the way down the rope to city level and they looked out a window and saw him, kind of thing. But they established something, but it's weak.
Yeah. So I guess at the end of the day, I have as an objective issue that they didn't follow through with it, because then it leaves into convenience and stuff. So that's where I'm at on it. Let's go with a Springs point.
Let's see. His equipment to make his blood in his little room apartment thing, everything seems pretty up to date. Of like his microscope and everything, but his septifuge is out of bike tires.
Yeah,
I was gonna say the same thing.
I do
Not
like
necessarily what it was made out of, but the speed of the centrifuge was very slow.
the homemade aspect to that. It's kind of cool.
But everything else isn't homemade.
Yeah, I know. It lays into question of how he got everything else, but I can see that he would try to do this on a budget, maybe, because centrifuges are a little more rare than microscopes. So I think it'd be easier to attain a microscope it'd be easier to attain a microscope and microscope like chips to use over a centrifuge, like at least
Okay.
a lab oriented centrifuge.
Okay, it just stood out, and I went, "That why?" It's not breaking. It was confusing. What is a little breaking is science, and I know a little bit of science. So when he puts this antidote on his blood and puts it under the microscope to look at, it should be working all in unison because it coated the entirety of his blood. It should not be sweeping from left to right on the screen.
I agree with that. That is a problem. One of my nitpicks.
I guess the only variable is like temperature, but it's such a small area. I don't know if that would really be a factor.
I mean, like I said, if he, for example, applied it from say left to right, even though it's coded in that in a similar way, but he applied it left to right, that would help explain the sweeping motion. But I don't think he did that.
It would make sense if the droplet was off to the side and the flow of the liquid went over the blood.
Yeah.
Because then that would explain how the antidote is moving that way. But dropping it directly in the center and then waiting to put it under the microscope, it's already giving time for the antidote to work with the blood cells, which is fine for a delay.
It wouldn't have been a side swipe. It would have been like a center outward thing.
If from the start, yes, more so. But I mean, being that zoomed in to see red blood cells, they would just.
Oh yeah. I agree. I'm not gonna push back on this. Yes, I agree with that. I'm just saying, if they wanted to have a visual, I think starting with the center and making it spread outward would be the correct visual to have. But I am in agreement with that, scientifically speaking, yeah, that there wouldn't be a visual.
Yeah. So, little nitpick.
Writer.
Sure. Little neat pick. I like that Banner checks his pulse. He had to stop running to check his pulse, in the break during the chase sequence. I really liked that. It was a nice little bit that I enjoyed.
Yeah, I like the use of the
watch,
the monitor. The beeping definitely escalates the scene and makes it more
tense,
more stressful.
Sounds like a bomb's gonna go off.
In certain instances, I did do a little research on something that kind of bugs me with the heart rate monitor, and that was he was going to be intimate with Elizabeth.
Oh,
and
I know the same thing.
It was beeping like crazy, and he was worried something was going to happen. I'm like, okay, let me look this up. What is the average
heart rate during
BPM?
What's BPM
Yes.
during arousal?
Just during sex, yes, I looked it up. On average, 90 to 130 with a max, is what I found online, of 170, which is not 200, which is what we've been established is the turning point.
Yes, but Banner's been deprived for so long.
He's so excited because it's
So
Betty. It's Arwen, you know.
True.
No, I'm in agreement. It's I get why they wanted to do it. They wanted to, but yeah, it doesn't again fit with science norms, I guess.
It doesn't work as well as the conversation between Banner and Natasha in Age of Ultron.
Yes, does not
no,
work
that
as well
doesn't
as
happen
that.
yet. No, so I like the idea that they were going with it, but the implementation of the benchmark they set of 200, that doesn't work.
Well, for a regular person without gamma radiation.
I guess so. You could have a
That's
higher, steady
Yeah,
heart
that's
rate.
a little devil advocate, but yeah. Hey, I got something. We've on this podcast before talked about eggs in fridges. I think we brought it up with Jimmy Neutron, and we've probably brought it up before. Who the hell leaves loose eggs in a fridge?
The Watcher
Like no
apparently.
card, no. Yeah, Stanley's fridge just has loose eggs.
He's a weirdo. What can be said?
Well, he's not human, so I think it fits.
And,
Yeah, I got nothing to really
Yeah,
defend
I mean,
it.
I got nothing other to say other than that.
it was just to fill up a fridge, and I'm like, okay, peppers and the baking soda and stuff like that. But I'm just like, loose eggs, what?
Yeah, I've stored loose eggs in the fridge only once before, but that's because we needed to make room and there were only 2 left. So
Yeah. So
it's a bit of an anomaly.
Ryder again, I think, or whoever went. I don't know. Ryder, you're up.
I just
Okay.
brought up the eggs. So.
uh, it's convenient that Banner just happens to run into the gang. I would have preferred it to be set up like their job is might be to kind of protect the factory. But don't get really anything on that. They're just there, and Banner has to use the monk move that was set up earlier to get through them. I appreciated that. Set up on the choreography end. But it's still convenient that he happened to run into them like right outside the factory.
It is definitely convenient.
It's convenient. I think it's totally fine though, because Banner seems to be one who walks to work to the factory, and it's kind of a relatively small town they're in, and he's been running rooftops and all the way around to bump into them. They're somewhere in this town doing something.
I don't know if it's a small town. We have a couple overhead
We have an
shots
establishing
yeah, we
shot.
have a few
Yeah.
establishing shots that show that this is a
Okay,
layered city.
Maybe small's not the right
They could
definition
be
of small.
at home. They could be at a bar. They can be out of town.
I
They
thought
could
they
be
kind of
literally
were at a
anywhere.
bar.
Yeah,
They were out of the bar, outside.
Yeah.
If they were inside,
just,
it wouldn't be
it's
an issue.
convenient. There's not really much of a way to chop it up for me. It's just convenient.
Yeah, it is a convenience. I agree. It is a convenience, but I think it's totally fine.
Yeah, there's not
Yeah.
the only reason I take issue with it is because as far as we know, this gang is the reason that there's a Hulk incident at all. Because if they weren't there to catch the Hulk, who knows? Banner could have gotten away.
He probably would have.
So that's why I view it as
Maybe.
convenient, because it leads into again it leads into a plot point that's kind of important, is that Hulk has an incident.
Yeah.
Freaking Eagle Eye Blonsky. Jeez Louise. It bugged me that he split up from the group and found him.
Yeah.
And
he's a hunter.
through the action of him getting chased down, nobody was on their radios saying he's over here, he's doing that.
Oh, communication was a mess. Ross just screaming in a van doesn't solve anything.
Ross is also
nothing
just
for Blonsky to find.
Oh my god,
Banner.
I have so many fucking issues.
Also,
I don't
get. Oh, you know what, Ryder, you go.
Okay, yeah. I mean, let me just lay this out. I have so many issues with the military implementation in this film. We're coming off of Iron Man, which is pretty decent military implementation. It's fucking awful here. I have no idea why Ross is in a fucking minivan on the ground. He's a general, a 3-star general, which is up until World War II was the highest ranking general we had. It's uh convenient that they're all just terrible at communicating when this is supposed to be like top tier spec ops. They even brought in a Russian born Royal Marine to be on loan to the United States for some fucking reason. That it's such an elite team that they brought in that, and that it just adds to more reasons as to why the communication falls apart. The college scene where he's like, where the fuck is my 50 cal, or where the fuck is like the trucks? I'm like, you're the general, dude. Why aren't they here? Like, it's your fault. None of this is coordinated. It was
Oh,
no, it was
when Hulk
Why
takes
aren't
down their
snipers that first?
yeah,
where's the airship?
yeah, yeah. It's fucking everything that has to do with Ross being a general in this fucking film was awful. I mm, I don't believe he's a 3-star general. I just flat out don't believe it after this.
Believe it.
It's not it's not coherent with what's being shown on screen. It's awful.
I did deject the reality that you put forth.
Nah, it's just writer attacking the writers.
Yeah. What is it? What is it? Chiefs Use Critics Day? I'm going after the writers.
That's your department.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's pretty
What I
awful.
was
I
what I was gonna bring up.
sorry.
ahead again.
I guess my last note on this is like, I understand what they're trying to do with General Ross. They convey that well enough. The problem is that it's just not well connected altogether. Just the way that he sends in his particular units one at a time, when the Hulk is like something you don't do that against. He would know this because he's the only one there that probably has experience with it at this point, outside of Blonsky.
Yeah,
So it's just a lot of damage done onto Ross's character through the actions portrayed in this movie, and it in turn damages the plot, the military, and how they interact with everything. It's just it isn't good.
and the world building of the MCU,
Yeah.
because it's not just a one-off movie. What I was gonna get to is this Spec Ops team with Blonsky all speak English. The only one brought in is Blonsky, and he speaks English. Everyone else is a U.S. soldier. Why is the communication officer in the van speaking Portuguese?
I have no idea.
Talking to local law enforcement.
didn't
Maybe,
get it.
but if that was the case, they would have to show that. Like Ross can just it could be a simple line of dialogue saying intercept the police to the Portugal like law enforcement, or intercept
Yeah,
the
because we
police
don't.
messages. That's all you have to do.
The shot doesn't show the screen he's working on. It just shows him speaking Portuguese. So we have no context of what it's for. I just question, I'm like, who are you talking to? Who's he talking to?
Yeah, I just have the devil's advocate. He's talking to the local law enforcement, but there's no proof, so I'm with you.
Okay, I was just curious with that. That's one of those questions where it's like, I didn't know the answer, and if one of you had the explanation, but if we don't know, then I'll settle on that's a nitpick.
Yeah, it's a problem. I agree. It's a tiny nitpick. I can infer that he's talking to local law enforcement, but that's such an easy thing to fix. Like, it's just such an
But
easy thing
local
to add in.
law enforcement doesn't show up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean,
Well,
saying
that's
he
why he would
he
be
could be
calling,
keeping
like,
away.
"Don't
He
Just
could
show
want
keep,
him to keep
here."
away?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah,
that's all
that's all
assumptions.
settle.
Yeah.
Nothing
It'd
confirmed.
be so much nicer. See, that would add intelligence onto Ross giving that order. It's like
Yeah.
keep them away. That would help him so much. It would still make him inconsistent, but at least give him something that's intelligent for him to do.
Yeah, I
Rather
was
than
gonna
his
say that breaks
vengeance
his
on Banner.
character. If he's dumb all the time and does one smart thing, that would be out of character. So
Yeah.
No, it'd still be
Uh,
inconsistent, but at least it's something to grasp on. Like they do demonstrate that at least they're like not incapable of demonstrating Ross's intelligence, supposed intelligence.
A little bit of whipped cream on the dog shit,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there you go.
better than without it. So that being nitpick, one thing I do like is Banner knowing his way kind of this place, of this town and city. So going on the roof goes over the ledge from the laundry. I thought that was really cool.
And then one of the soldiers falls in because they don't know the lay of the land. I did enjoy that as well.
Yeah, I did like that. He took a hard fall.
Yeah, I don't know why they had to show a shot specifically for Banner's hat falling off to be then stepped on.
I wrote that down. What's so important about this hat?
Yeah, I was like, what? You used 3 shots for why?
The shot of it falling, the shot of him looking back at it falling, and then the guy
hat
stepping on
the
it.
floor, and then yeah,
The importance of it, I think, is down to simply that it helps conceal his face a little bit better.
no, he's just losing things.
Yeah, well, it's a head covering. You know, it's that classic, like goofy, like you're wearing not enough to hide your face, but just enough to change something about you.
Yeah, which is very classic in MCU. They do it with Ant-Man. They make a whole joke about it, I think, in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
It's also in Winter
Where it's
Soldier.
like, yeah,
Obviously, they added the kissing part of that to it, but it's still like helping
yeah,
them
the
in
sunglasses
disguise.
and hat hide people.
Honestly, that's all you need. I bit of a
Well,
s- bit of
Ant-Man
a,
and the Wasp kind of debunked it, but
yeah. Well, Ant-Man and the Lost is weird. um, but that's yeah, I assume that's why that shot's there. It's just to show that he's lost something that could help hide his face.
I don't know if it was like a symbolism thing of like, lose your head and the military's on you and steps on it, or I don't know.
Uh,
I don't know if there's some other meaning behind it.
I think
I'm just
I can't look at it says I think
can
I
only
would
do
need
one
something more
shot,
overt
so
if they were gonna do something like that.
I think it's
being
a
that
high school level cut on action. That's what I
I
think.
don't know, like the editing, this
I
they
can
kept
agree
it
with that.
on in, but
It's
yeah.
I think okay, I might be reading into it. I think the intention is to help raise tension. That's why it's there. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but I feel like there's so many other ways you could do that, especially with this whole chase sequence of men with guns.
Yeah, I agree. On the chase sequence of men with guns, I appreciate they just don't open fire indiscriminately. I really appreciated that
Oh, that
because
is
a
good.
lot of movies suffer that trope.
Random blind fire, civilian casualties, and all that. Yeah,
And they are using tranks.
Yeah, but
they seem
again,
to
they're
be
still
well
not like
trained, not well communicated.
There's zero communication.
Other than Ross saying, get him, go, go, go.
yes. So such intelligence, big brain, General Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh, you had to throw in the Thunderbolt.
Just a little.
To go a little later into the film with Mr. Blue, the Shield takes in the
Oh, sorry.
takes in the communication
That's Guardians.
and finding his identity and his location and giving it to Ross to go over there. And I was just thinking, how did Bruce get there before the military did?
Oh, he teleported.
I don't know if that's it. I think the sequence of time is not linear.
We saw the second it was sent that the database that Shield was using pretty much instantly found the guy.
Yes, and I think Banner and Betty were already there.
No. You think he wrote out the message to Mr. Blue while he was at Mr. Blue's?
Oh, I'm mistaken then. The message for the shield.
So
picked up his.
he wrote to Mr. Blue that they can now meet, and this was at like a gas station or something. And then the Shield database visual comes up of them figuring out who Mr. Blue is and the location. And then we have Bruce at Mr. Blue's, and then we have a later shot of the military approaching. I don't understand how the military arrived after Bruce. They should have beaten
Okay.
Bruce.
Gotcha. Yes. The only thing I can go, I agree, they totally would have been there beforehand. Only thing I can go with a little is when they were at the university and Bruce picked up that people were around, and he goes, "Betty, get away from me." Ross is angry about who tipped him off, like who blew their cover, and this one feels far more stealth to fix that. So maybe they are around, but they are like on surveillance the whole time until they can get a clear shot or angle, which is the sniper team. It's the only thing I can kind of go with.
They would have just snatched him before even entering the building if they were already there.
Yeah,
So I think it's just an
Sure.
issue
Well,
that they did for the movie's sake to get those events in that order.
because where was it? It was in. They went to Virginia, but Mr. Blue is in. Is it New York? No, DC.
Did we get a location?
The university that they're in, that is definitely
No, Mr. Blue's
Harlem.
Lab.
place.
It's in Harlem.
Okay, so it's in New York.
It's called the Harlem incident in the funny enough, the consultant short.
So Harlem. Yeah. And the military could have gone without Ross, I would like to point out, too. He could have sent them out before him. He doesn't have to be in person.
Oh, Crimson,
everywhere.
he has to be there. He
He
has
doesn't
to
have to
be
be in
there.
person everywhere.
This is his case. He wants to take down Banner. But you're right. I have a little earlier at 1543. There's a bit of the messaging going back and forth after the test with the flower of how it went, and he said he used it all. Mr. Blue responds with messages of like variables that need to be tested, or like reasons why you should have a copy of the blood or of Banner's blood. His responses on the machine are way too fast to be typed. I think they're even too fast for copy paste.
I didn't really think about that, but I suppose that is true.
Yeah.
Like it's too fast for copy paste. It's too fast for talk to speak to be
My-
sent.
My only inference with that is that it was a delayed delivery of the messages because it's heavily encrypted or whatever. They're using some special encryption service, but that's debunked with instant responses to each other's messages.
Yeah.
Speaking of the decryption service, why the heck is it on Elizabeth's computer at the lab? I didn't like that. Because he was looking for his data, found nothing, and then clicked on an app on the desktop for the decryption service.
Yeah, my best faith read of that is that he started installing at the moment he started looking for things, because I assume it's just a simple thing. But I agree, it's very convenient in either case.
They'd have to show that.
Yeah,
It's convenient. It's convenient in a bad way.
yeah, I agree. You know, it wasn't convenient in a bad way. Is I liked that he used pizza to sneak in, because that's how you sneak into a college. 100%.
Yeah. And there's the Lou Ferrigno cameo.
He apparently voiced the Hulk in this.
Lou
So
Ferrigno
it was-
voiced the Hulk?
Yeah, so he wasn't
that's
just
cool.
the guard, he was also the Hulk voice.
That's cool. I
Which is a
knew
little
it wasn't
interesting.
Edward Norton, but I didn't know who did the voice.
Let's go with writer.
Sure. This is just a bit of clunky dialogue for me. It's when Ross is talking about the Captain America project. We don't know if it's that yet, but the Super Soldier program with Blonsky. He refers to it as WW2, and I'm just thinking like I've never heard World War II referred to as WW2 in conversation before.
It's code.
Yeah, I guess in conversation, no.
Yeah, I've never heard it in conversation.
Usually just shorthand in like text or something.
Yeah, it's just shorthand in text, but I've never heard it said as WW2.
It was written in the script that way, so that's the line they had to go with.
That's just even worse. No. See, this is one of those things, right? This is not a huge. This is just a nitpick for me, and it's not an objective one. It's just like I've never heard it in conversation said like this, and it was clunky and it bugged me because of it. Like it,
Oh boy, can't wait for when we get around to the first Avenger and we just say WW2.
Yeah.
Crimson like that one.
I mean, like I said, it's never happened to me in conversation before. I feel like it's going to be something now just because we brought it up, and I'm going to say World War II because that's just how I refer to it. But
WW2.
Yeah. No, I think it's probably was just in the script to go
yeah,
with the line.
it was just clunky and it was just shorthand. I imagine that's why it's there. It gets the point across. It was just clunky to me. It's just odd.
Speaking of clunky, the whole, I guess, emotional bit of Elizabeth and Hulk in like the cave or whatever, the cliff face. I tonally, I didn't like it at all, but that's subjective side of things. I did not enjoy that Hulk bumped his head and it's like, oh, that hurt. Like, what? What?
I'm surprised
How?
The Rock didn't break.
No
To be
way.
honest.
He's like standing out of the rain, like, oh my god, what do I do? One of my biggest subjective hits this movie is making Hulk Banner. Like they are one and the same and not separate people. I don't like it at all. How Betty's able to talk to Hulk and call him Bruce over and over, and Hulk isn't getting mad about it. I don't like it.
Um, I don't know if
Hulk
I
is a
necessarily,
different
I
person.
I don't necessarily agree that it's just Banner, because that they're kind of establishing that Banner's in there somewhere, not necessarily that he is Hulk.
And also, they don't have the Hulk
There's no
name, so what else
Hulk.
is they going to call him? It's like Hulk
It's not
doesn't
like
have a
Hulk,
name, as far as Hulk
Hulk tells
understands.
Betty, "Shut up about Bruce. It's all about me." There's nothing like that, and I think that would be kind of dumb in this film.
Yeah,
But uh,
I don't think he should have talked, but I think it would have been better if he like shook his head and then
like he
got
doesn't,
angry about it.
like he doesn't want to be called Bruce, but he doesn't know how to express
Yes.
that. Like, okay, I can buy into that as a reason that, but I obviously that's not present here in the film.
Yeah. The only Hulk talk of Hulk smash, awesome. But that's also not true. There is a bit I also really don't like of when he's changed in the factory and walking around the spec ops are like looking into like, oh, what is this thing? There's a part where Hulk says, "Leave me alone," and he whispers it. I don't like that, especially when he's in Hulk form and he's whispering.
I don't recall that. What part was that?
Um, someone go to something else. I will look for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll add a little bit onto this. I don't see this as an issue. It will be an issue when theoretically we're carrying this Hulk forward into another story, but as of right now, it's not an issue because it's fairly consistent with this depiction of Hulk within itself.
Yeah, that's what I was going to comment on. It's like we're discussing the meta of the Hulk, not necessarily this version of the Hulk.
Yeah. Uh, so I think it's not inconsistent with itself within this film. That being said, knowing what comes later, it will have some inconsistencies that crop up. That's not this Hulk's fault though. That's the future iterations of that are going to come. So
Yes,
is
but I can still hold it to comic wise story. It's like Rise of Silver Surfer having Galactus be a big cloud. Like that's that version of Galactus, but comparatively to comics, I can still kind of hold comparison.
right.
Well,
Well, I mean
that
that's
logic only goes so far
yeah.
because even you said there's versions of Hulk in the comics where a bomb turns him.
Yes,
So that you can't fully really apply, oh, in comics this happens, because then you're picking and choosing which comics
that's true.
when we're
I
just
would have
talking
to.
about this movie by itself.
Yes, I would
So
have to stick the 616 universe of comic lore where that they try to shoehorn that into being the MCU lore and it's not. It's Earth like 199,999, I think, is the MCU timeline, so they are different.
it just happens to be from that particular world. It's 616 or whatever.
Yes.
so in this film, in isolation, I don't really have an issue with Is Hulk his own identity or not? Because it's not really something they toy with here.
Yeah. But that being said, this being the MCU, this does become an issue later with how Hulk is depicted.
Yes, it will be held with future
Yes.
iterations.
Do you,
Let's go.
I was
You
gonna go
found
with
it?
I found it. It's at 2504 roughly. Kind of after they throw the big bomb or the flash grenade bomb that you liked, Crimson.
Okay. And he whispered, "Stop it." Okay.
Yeah, he says, "Leave me alone."
Now, is that Hulk or
Oh,
Banner
it's Hulk.
changing?
Hulk is already fully changed, and this is when the Spec Ops are fighting him. So this is before he throws the forklift at Blonsky.
Can you hear that, or is it just the subtitles that say it?
You can hear it.
Well, then I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, I don't like
Uh,
how an angry monster who is being shot and is attacking people
is
has a
whispering.
moment to calm down to whisper.
Yeah. If it's an angry whisper, that would be something, but I'm assuming it's not an angry whisper.
It would have worked for me. It would have been better if he yelled it. If he's actually angry and yelling, "Leave me alone,"
I can
because
see
that's
him.
coming
I can
from
see him
Hulk.
growling it too, and that
Fine.
coming out as a bit of a whisper. But a growling whisper would work as well for me. I think in that instance.
Yeah, but just like talking like he's being pestered like the Beast from Beauty and the Beast or something. I don't like that.
Yeah, subjectively, I don't enjoy that. Objectively, I don't know if I have an issue with that.
Because it's this version.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go with an actual difference.
Okay. I picked up on the costume designer doing a little cheeky thing where when the gang member coworkers get to Bruce inside the factory and start beating him up, kind of thing, they are wearing primary colors of Bruce in a red sweatshirt, two members in blue and one in yellow, and there's no green until, well, yeah, I know green not a primary, but like the colors are specific until Hulk change.
So you're going with they didn't show green to save that for Hulk? Is that what you're
Kind of a
going
reveal
towards?
thing. Yeah. It seems
Then I
specific.
guess I
Like
can agree with
specific
that.
costume choice for the four of them in the scene.
Yeah. I mean, the only people that I've seen in quote unquote green up until this point were the army and their camis.
Yes, at the base. But then again, without that, that would have been weird.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I have issues with Thunderbolt Ross pitching.
What?
Yeah. Why has he picked Blonsky to be the super soldier instead of an American soldier?
He's the only one who survived this mission.
Yeah, well, I mean, like in general though, he's a general, has access to tons of personnel files. Why Blonsky, the Russian-born on loan from the Royal Marines to the United States, to be an
That's the best
American super
pitch.
soldier?
Yeah, it's weird giving a different country the super serum. That I can be on board with the logic for.
Yeah, that to me was the issue. I don't have necessarily an issue that Blonsky is chosen. It's just that like why?
Well, guys, Red Guardian's fine.
Who's Red Guardian?
He's very prominent. He's prominent in the Russia, so this is fine.
Who?
We don't even know if Ross knows about that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah.
Who?
So, yeah.
Ryder, I hope you're joking. You know who Red Guardian is.
Yes, I know who Red Guardian is. As much as I would like to delete
2008.
as much as I would like to delete Black Widow from my brain, I do remember that movie.
Hey, Crimson, you got to keep in mind the events of Captain Marvel have already happened in Incredible Hulk.
In a way.
Yeah,
that's universe.
You're right. That's why it's weird that they don't know their own acronym in Iron Man 1.
Ah, fancy that.
Maybe it's a
I don't like
problem
Captain Marvel.
that Captain Marvel will
The
introduce
movie?
the movie. Yeah, the movie's pretty bad.
So yes, Ryder, I agree. I don't think Ross would have given a foreign country the super serum.
Probably not. Again, the only thing I said I think is connected is that he's the only one who survived this team about going against the Hulk.
Yeah.
Even there, it's kind of lucky.
Yeah, because the Hulk could have just hunted down and killed him if he really wanted
Yeah,
to.
the
But
Hulk
he also
hunted
just
down
wanted
the
to
gang
escape.
members, just guys who beat up Bruce Banner, and he's throwing them across the factory. But guys who are actually lighting them up with trank darts and shooting at him, just kind of walks by them.
With tickle shots, yeah. They
Yeah,
just bounce off. That's not really much.
yeah, he's just walking.
He's stepping on them.
That CGI is dated, but still looks cool. I think of the foot on the tranks.
Yeah. Let's see. The more towards the end, Bruce told Ross to open the back so he could jump out to transform, which is funny in of itself of him falling. But uh, he told him to stay high. And then the helicopter pilot goes down to freaking abomination level to shoot it. And then obviously Abomination jumps on them. And Hulk does too. But that was just kind of dumb.
Yes, it's also dumb that we see Ross and Betty on opposite side of the helicopter to look out the windows, and they're not. There isn't a feasible point where they both can see what's going on at the same time. It's gonna be one's looking or the other's looking, but it's shot in reaction to they are seeing the events happening down below.
Yeah, once they're at like level, not from up high
Yeah.
because they just look down, but once at level, yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, if they're fighting on the right side of the helicopter, and Betty's like, oh my gosh, you don't cut to Ross looking, agape and surprised. He can't see it.
I take an
Oh,
issue with the
also,
fact that the ground just splits after Banner's impact when it would have just been splat.
I did write that down. Banner goes splat.
Uh,
Because we've had
if
plenty
if they shouldn't,
instances in life
sorry, you finish.
people falling, and yeah, the ground doesn't shatter like that, like a freaking meteor hit.
Yeah.
When he hit the concrete, was he still fully human, or was he mid transformation?
He wasn't mid transformation, unfortunately. If he
Okay.
was, I would take less issue with it. It still wouldn't snap the way it does. It's for the visual of him crawling up, but
Okay. I was just curious because the transformation on the table, seeing how he turns into Hulk, I don't know the density change. Like the seat's changing with the weight, so there's an effect, but I just don't know if like the implementation of the weight change to the density or the skin's durability upon contact. So mid transformation, I think would have been okay, but still human form, Bruce, yeah, splat.
Funny though,
it's true.
Yeah,
his reaction
this
was
isn't Ragnarok where he bounces on the bridge.
Yeah. I guess we'll
No.
talk since we're kind of orbiting the climax scene or the climax dialogue scene. Banner says he has a plan to confront Abomination by himself. And I feel like Ross needs to get a really, really good like dialogue line thrown his way because I honestly don't know what to make of Ross's reactions because I don't understand his character. Shock, surprise, surprise. I don't think he's particularly well written. Like it wouldn't getting a good line thrown into Ross's face wouldn't make the scene like great, but it would make it better because it's so like underwhelming. The choice that Ross has been hunting this man this entire film, and he's now needs him to save Harlem more or less. I feel like the film needs to push Ross a little bit more. Maybe have Banner say something to the effect of like make Banner scoff at him like with something. Have Ross say something akin to responsibility and make Banner scoff at him responsibility and I'm taking responsibility for something we we created together. What have you done with that responsibility lately or something to that effect? Because we're missing a lot of like something very important from this climax, which is that specific confrontation between Ross and Banner as to why they diverge, because we only have like we don't really have anything specifically on it. It's all just been like background stuff. And outside of that, there's obviously too many other variables going on. I'm just thinking right now. Yeah, okay, I guess that's the basic crux of it. That issue I have, at least with Ross and Banner's, like Banner's choice to go back, and Ross just not pushing back a little bit to kind of show that he's more calculating or what have you. And
I would agree it's a little on the underwhelming side because that was his primary objective this whole movie. Gets his daughter in danger and everything, risks his relationship with her, and his mistake is costing people down there. So there's a lot going on, and we kind of just get him flipping. There's not a lot of tug of war verbally going on.
what got
Don't know if you have
anything to
anything
add
to
to
add
that,
with that,
Sprinks?
Spring.
Yeah. No. You summed it up pretty well.
Yeah, it's just one of those things because there's so much history and emotion between all these characters, and they're finally all together, trapped. Being Betty, being Ross's daughter. Like one of the things I thought of that could add much to the scene is maybe the general does feel that weight of responsibility after that conversation, and he knows he needs to go and help any way he can. And then he looks at Betty, and Betty gives him permission to put them both in danger because they need to go back and help. Like that would be something really powerful to have, to know that he wants to go back, but he gets his daughter's permission too because he's worried about her, as he claims to be for the film. Like that's his priority, is her safety. So showing that on screen with something like that would be really nice.
Yeah, in this movie, the whole relationship stuff they do of Banner and Betty, and Banner and Ross and Betty, and Emil and Banner, and like all these like connections of like how people affect one another. I have it's all very middle ground. I don't think any of it's amazing, but I don't think any of it is abysmally bad.
Yeah, I feel.
But I wish it was better.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a little harsher. I feel like it's abysmally bad. I feel the Banner Betty stuff is closer to mid. I think I would there's plenty of tweaks I'd want to make with it, but I think what we have between them is satisfactory enough. The problem is once we start adding in other elements, that's when it starts getting dragged down a little bit.
I think a caveat to it, because I don't think it's bad with the pacing. I think the mix of the military stuff and then the romantic stuff going on, and the harbor and a fugitive fleeing stain, I think those go well with the pacing of structure. I think the thing that just doesn't work for me, I don't think Edward Norton and Liv Tyler have chemistry.
Yes, I agree with that. I think they're both decent enough actors to make the material they have work, but I don't think they have chemistry.
Interesting because during the research I was doing, apparently they spent a lot of time together outside of the shoots discussing their character's backstory before they split up in the story, and they just crafted this whole like relationship that we don't see on screen because they were that into it.
Yeah, but that sounds like making homework, not actually like having fun friendship.
I can't just assume that.
Yeah, it doesn't. Like I said, I'm happy they did that because, like I said, it's not their chemistry isn't gone. Like I don't think they have zero chemistry. I just think the chemistry there is not as present as I would have preferred it to be. Like I get the emotion, but
this is a whole movie with Liv Tyler versus her like 10-minute scene in Fellowship of the Ring with Aragorn.
Yeah, that's true.
The chemistry does not compete.
I agree. I'm not gonna say it competes to that. But what I am saying is that like it's not zero chemistry. There is chemistry. It's just not as present as I would have preferred it to have been. Like the scene where I think it pops the most out for me is when she's cutting his hair. for him. That's when I think most of the chemistry pops out for me.
I usually use clippers or scissors. I forgot what he said. Cutting his own hair, whatever.
Yeah. I can't recall.
Let's see. I'll jump to them utilizing dark sonic weapons. Cool little universe tie-in there.
Where do those come back again? They come back later in the MCU.
In the Avengers video game.
No.
It comes back when War Machine uses it on Scarlet Witch in Civil War.
Oh, is that what I'm thinking?
It happens at the airport fight. Yeah, towards the end of it.
Okay. Like, I remember they come back.
I mean, that's the only time I can
Okay.
think of. They might have happened another time, but that's the one that jumps into my head.
Well, there's another one, but I don't think the two of you have seen Brave New World yet.
I have not.
I'm actively avoiding it. I have no love or want to see it.
Okay. Brave New World is, rather than a Captain America 4, it's kind of more of an Incredible Hulk 2.
Cool.
But Captain
Give me
America's in it,
that.
though. Well, why isn't?
Oh, I know. I get it. That's like saying, Captain America Civil
America's in
War
there?
is.
I thought it was.
Don't
I
say it.
can't say it. I
Don't
can't
say it. I know what you're going. Yep. No, you can't say that. It's like calling Captain America Civil War an Avengers movie. Like it's titled that, but
Yeah.
feels like an Avengers movie.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason for anyway. I have a lot of love for the film, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yes, the sonic weapon thing. So it bugged me how it's a sonic weapon, so it affects your hearing. It discombobulates, and this one obviously has physical force as well. You can see his muscles flapping.
And you can
From
see
the sheer
Blonsky get
force of it.
blasted out of the way.
Yeah, so it's got a physical component and obviously audio component. And yet Hulk can still hear Elizabeth screaming.
Like, no way. I was questioning. I'm like, does Hulk have super hearing rather than just muscles? Like, are all his senses enhanced? But
he
even
would
still,
super hear the sonic weapon. That's louder. That
yeah,
doesn't-
he had to cover his own. He's also covering his ears.
So that was nonsense, and it makes it more annoying because he uses that as a push to beat it. Like he got a second wind after hearing her screaming.
The fix here is just have him see something being done to her, like have her be tackled again by soldiers or them yanking her back so she falls back down. Like that's all you have to do to have a visual for him to get a second wind, as it were.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. So that was kind of dumb. The actual implementation of the weapons, I like. I think it worked out.
I have a question for Ross. Tactically speaking, what was the second part of this plan? They were just gonna shoot at him until he falls
From there forever.
unconscious, or just
Yeah.
Until he falls asleep.
yeah.
Yeah, they'll take him like King Kong.
Yeah, I mean, like, why not start
There was a
that shit
plan?
right now while he's like struggling in place before he?
I will say, going through this did remind me of the episode of What If, where Hank Man, yeah,
That sounds
Hank
right.
Pym, Hank Pym's Ant-Man kills the Avengers.
Mhm.
Do you recall how he kills the Hulk?
He like goes in his ear or mouth or something, right? And then grows something.
Yeah, he plants like an inflatable explosion inside Banner's body or Hulk's body, so when Hulk is big, it blows him up.
Yeah,
Why didn't
from the
Ross do
inside.
that? Well, Ross
Well,
probably doesn't have the technology.
Well, Bross wants to keep him alive. Remember, he's trying to get the Hulk super soldier bit. So Ross has incentive to keep him alive and
kill
not kill
him.
him. But
but internally sedate him.
oh, I see. Yeah. I don't know.
That could have been his next step. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah, I mean, this is
It's
what
just
this
live
is what the
rounds.
general gets from turning from bringing just one asset in at a time instead of all at once. I don't know.
It's funny using live ammo at a campus against something that you know the bullets do nothing to. So it's really just an excuse for casualties.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, especially Blonsky picks up a rifle and just starts firing.
Takes up a
I
he
will
picks a
say this about
grenade launcher.
Blonsky. He's got stones. That guy has got
Yeah.
stones.
Man
Is that
goes
all
up
you
to try and
got?
fist fight with fucking Hulk.
Can you imagine if Hulk punched and Blonsky caught it, like stopped it with his little hand?
And then
That'd been incredible.
and then you
I'd
just
say
hear
Blonsky.
like the world was fine, it's just his peace, and it starts playing the Ruby music. No, okay.
Mm.
Oh
Uh,
man.
at 34:45, there's a bit where Banner is in Virginia, and he's outside kind of the university before he sees like Betty's name on the like doctors, and I think he's like in a soccer field. The way it is shot for its um, focus on the background shows so much pollen that I just wrote in my notes. I'm like, wow, Crimson would die.
I probably would.
I
I
can't
would.
think of another scene in a movie or something that has so much visual on the pollen in the air.
Does a Annihilation have a pollen scene during
Okay,
all like the
well,
flower bits or whatever?
yes, but that's alien biology, not naturally caused.
Okay.
So,
I haven't
yes,
seen
but
it since
no.
that came out. That's a while.
Yeah, it was a good shot though in this film. Like it looked very good.
Mm. And like more on Ross. Uh, what was he thinking when he said he? Oh my God, he's actually doing it. When Blonsky's fighting Hulk, like what is he doing?
Oh, he's just
Not
standing
dying.
watching.
Now,
He's shooting bullets that do nothing, and he's doing backflips. By God, he's doing it.
he's learning to believe.
He's beginning to believe.
He's not getting killed. Wow, that's cool. How's that getting closer to our goal? I don't know.
Yeah. Another thing, well, this is the iteration of Hulk. I don't like that Blonsky's bone can pierce Hulk's skin.
The Abomination.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Uh,
Abomination's bone in his arm can pierce into the Hulk.
I'm not opposed to it because they are of like an equivalent strength, right? So it comes down to me is Hulk is able to break the bone and then stab um, Blonsky back. So that kind of shows that the bone isn't that
I just
strong to a
it just
Hulk.
makes me think if Wolverine without adamantium with his bone claws, could he pierce the skin of this Hulk?
Well, his bones would probably I think Hulk bones are stronger than Wolverine bones. Wolverine bones are normal human
True, but the
without the adamantium.
gamma well, Blonsky has gamma radiation or gamma blood with super
With super serum.
serum, which is a
So
hybrid, which is
I don't have
I don't
much
know if
of
that
an
makes him
issue.
stronger or
Eh,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just kind of like I see them as made as the same thing and the same strength. So like a Incredible Hulk Omnidroid. Only thing that can hurt is itself type deal.
Okay. Okay. All right. I just figured with the bone break, the bone shouldn't be that strong.
I mean, it's about like a spear. Like if you get stabbed with a spear, ow, that's a strong hit with a spear. But you could also just go to the side of a spear and break it in half, right? It's
Yeah,
all about how you break the item.
but was the bone on the elbow a pointed edge? It looked blunt. It looked ragged like a tooth, like a molar.
I mean, it wasn't like razor sharp, but it had a point. It was pointed.
Okay. Again, okay. Feasible, works in movie. Subjectively, I don't like it.
Fair enough. Ryder.
I will jump to the as much as I enjoy uh Betty getting just it's convenient, but getting a chance look to see that Bruce is back in town. I do enjoy that scene. I it's How did she find him afterwards? This he's walking in the rain
100%
across the bridge.
agree.
As much as I like the previous scene, even though it's a bit on the dramatic side, I still enjoyed it. I don't know how she found him though immediately afterwards. This is New York.
She has
That's
no idea where he's headed. She doesn't know the direction he even went because he was just hiding behind the dumpster. So I got nothing.
my only thing to that is it's not immediate.
Doesn't really fix things though. That doesn't.
No,
How
it
does
just it could have been, I don't know, 5 hours past of her driving around.
even if it took a year of her walking around the town, I don't think she could find him.
This
I
is
don't
New
know
York
about that.
City. You can't
Yeah.
really escape that fact.
The thing is, he's on foot and she's driving,
That's true.
and he's walking. He's not running around, so I think it's easier. But time is still passed. It's not immediately beeline to him.
Yeah, it's still a problem though. It's very.
And
I guess I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I like the reunion too. It's just how the fuck did you find him?
it needs to be explained. Absolutely.
Yeah, like maybe he had. All you have to do is set up that he was thinking about moving into this place with the pizza guy, and then we could infer that she grilled him enough to know the direction he's going in. Then this solves the problem.
Well, she did say, "Tell me everything," and
Yeah,
Stanley was very hesitant and then cut. So I think Stanley told her.
yeah, but we
What?
don't. My problem is we don't have the issue that like we need that conversation beforehand of, all right, I'm only going to be here tonight. I'm looking into getting this place here for next week. That conversation could happen between him and the pizza guy, and then we can infer she got that information out of him when we cut away from the pizza guy conversation. But we have no setup for even us to pull on. It's just convenient and lucky that she happened to go the right direction to find
Okay,
him.
it's too much
I was
lost info.
yes.
Yes.
I didn't even know where he was even going.
Like I said,
At
I
that
that
point.
then my idea to
North.
fix this is give us something to know where he's going right now, and
Yeah,
then
He's going to British Columbia.
Very well could be.
That's the best I get because that's where he is at the end of the movie.
yeah, maybe. Other than that,
Hey,
I
Phil
do
Dunphy's
like
in this.
I do like the
Okay.
scenes, but
What did you say, Spinks?
I said Phil Dunphy's in this. I don't know
Who?
the actor's name. Phil Dunphy from Modern Family. He plays Leonard.
Oh,
yeah,
And
Ty
boy,
something.
oh my gosh, it's wild. As soon as Betty sees Bruce, she doesn't give a fuck about Leonard.
Is that why you brought up National Treasure?
Why?
Because he was a National Treasure too?
No. He is in that movie, but no, that's not why I brought up National Treasure.
Yeah, she ditched him completely.
It's crazy, which makes complete sense of why he's the narc who contacted.
yeah. How did? But my issue with him, I don't have an issue with him being the narc. My issue is how did he know?
Yeah, exactly. I doubt Elizabeth told him my fugitive ex and what he looks like.
Also, my dad's a dick. Don't call him.
Don't talk to him.
Is it enough that he's a what's his occupation?
He's a professor, I assume, right?
No, he's not a mentalist.
Psychologist.
Psychologist. Yeah, he's one of the top lead psychologists, which is what Stanley tells Bruce. So I think he has enough to get a read off of Betty or what she informs to him about situations, and then easily like contact information, emergency contact to Ross.
Maybe,
What about
but
her
that's
demeanor
that
would mean I
the
gotta
motive.
contact her dad?
Yeah, the motive for that's still weird for me though, because Betty and him would have had that conversation. My dad's a dick. He is not a part of my life. We don't talk to him ever. Which is very weird that he's the like the motivation is technically there, but the roadmap as to why he would still do that is missing.
Yeah, I don't think it's explained in the little talk outside on the patio.
Yeah, it's just like it's just you did the right thing, and he's like, yeah, Betty warned me about you, and I didn't
You're lying
believe
to me.
her. Yeah,
No.
so it's
Another lost info.
yeah. I chopped it as to a lot of plot convenience.
My
Just-
objective is becoming more and more solidified.
Hey,
yeah, honestly, mine too. To be
guess we're
honest.
helping.
Uh,
I did like Ross kind of muttering to himself, "Where does she meet these guys?"
Yeah,
that was a
As
little
if the
fun.
guys are the problem.
Yeah, I
They're
know.
both Bruce and the other guy are
Leonard.
totally fine guys.
Yeah.
Where did she find these scumbags?
I think it's
I like
it's
that.
also from the point of view of a general.
Yeah, well,
Thank you.
it's the point of view of a character I'm trying to like. It's one of those little nuggets okay. That's consistent with Ross. I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I got a question.
At question.
Host
Question.
aside.
Let's hear the question first.
Yeah, why is Ross the one that goes in to get the super soldier serum instead of like one of his scientists? Like he goes in there
It's
First
personally
epic
to get it.
clearance.
Yeah, top-notch clearance.
Is that it?
Best I can
That's
go
all I
with.
can give.
It's better than giving some random person to go and do it.
But
and
he
they're
doesn't
like,
even open the door. A scientist opens the door.
yeah, but he has the key to unlock
Yeah,
the
but he also
nitrogen
knows how
thing.
to do it, which is kind of weird. Like he had to release the gas valve or whatever
Yeah,
containment it was.
and then another
Chris,
scientist
he's done it
applies it,
before.
but it's just very weird that he's the one personally doing this. Like normally I'm good with the general like doing handiwork, but this isn't like military handiwork. This is science handiwork.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that they still have super soldier serum.
Well, this
An
one's not
attempt
made
at
by
a super soldier serum.
It is.
Yeah.
It is made by him, the doctor from Captain America.
No, it's not.
no,
Yes, it is.
No, it is not.
no, it's made by Stern. His name's on the labeling.
This blue serum in the facility
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is not Captain America super soldier
said
serum.
I'll double check.
it said Dr. Reinstein, which I looked up, and that's the doctor from Captain America. That's his military alias.
The one that gives him the super soldier serum?
Yeah.
Oh, that's such an objective
So
problem.
I'm
gonna take.
laying groundwork for a potential future film.
Yeah, that's objective damage. Just got hurled into Captain America right there. If that's true, holy fucking shit!
I hate that.
I'm sure you do.
I hate this.
Don't you like this movie even more, Sprinks?
I
That it
hate
damages something else?
that sucks.
Oh, that's awful. I did-
Yeah.
With a bad
glad-
taste in my mouth.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Oh my! Hang on, change my objective.
Uh,
Actually, no.
We'll say in
change my
isolation to
subjective.
this film, yes.
Change my
In
subjective.
isolation to this film, it's not an issue.
yeah,
That sucks.
it's not an issue in this film. That is an objective issue that was thrown into Captain America. I fucking hate it.
I'm glad I
Ooh.
did the research on it because I saw the name. I'm like, that looks like the Captain Serum.
You're
Is
right.
this the same guy?
You're so right. God damn it.
So awesome. Glad that was thrown out there.
No, not awesome, but thank you.
Let's see. That was writer questions. Sprinks, you're
Oh boy. My next point was something good about the movie. At 38:25, when Bruce has the pizza before going up to the computer, there's a transition of like a brick pillar to show the lab that from present time to past. I think it's very smoothly done.
Like what he expects to see when he rounds the corner, and then it's what he actually sees. I quite enjoyed that too.
Yeah,
Follow-up question to it of Bruce being able to get into Betty's computer. Do you think the password is Bruce?
Is it that long? I didn't
It's
check how many.
five characters.
That is not a safe password.
Yeah, this is 2008. I don't think we had the letter and symbol designations yet in numbers.
I think it was pretty common to throw in a number or something, though. But,
Maybe.
hey, whatever. It could be Bruce. I don't know. And also, she didn't change the password in all this time, too.
That's also true. It was just 5 letters long, 5 characters, and I just went, I bet it's Bruce. It'd be really dumb if it was Betty.
Right. That's funny. She'll never forget the password. That's for sure. Yeah.
I can go to another point if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. When Betty is meeting up with Bruce on the bridge and it's raining and everything, from where she just came from, I'm curious, did she leave Leonard at Stanley's? Like, was she just so engrossed in finding Bruce that as soon as she got the info from Stanley, she left?
That's
Or
what I'm
did she,
led to
like,
believe.
take Leonard home and then go look for Bruce?
There's no information on whether she dropped him off or not, but what we
All
are
we know is he's
established
not
is
there.
she's in a hurry. She's in a hurry, and she does not care about him. So I can
In the moment,
totally
yeah.
believe that she left him,
But he's not in the car.
not in the car. But I guess we don't definitively know if he was dropped off at home or left at the pizza place.
Okay.
Amusing. But on the topic of rain, the stupid part at the university after the whole fight and it starts raining.
Okay.
With,
Yeah. Did you
they
look up
set up
weather?
storm cloud. Hmm?
Did you look up weather in Virginia?
No.
Because I too was. I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
I
How
mean,
can you
they
have?
showed uh, like storm clouds approaching the university at the
Yeah,
beginning.
and thunder from
So
a thunderous night of rain previously.
so they did set up that there was going to be something, but it just happened to happen at the emotional part of the scene.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. It's very it's I understand why they did it. It's a nice visual, I guess. Convenient though.
It's a moving moment, but with the events of the previous night to this day, I don't know if that is if that's functionally normal in nature.
That rain can happen like the next day after a storm.
Both being thunderstorms.
Uh,
yeah, that's definitely possible.
Okay, and then also the night where Hulk is screaming at thunder. So in the event of 24 hours, there's been 3 thunderstorms.
uh, as someone who lives on the East Coast, I lived through that just like 2 days ago. I had like four
Okay, so this is
thunderstorms
a
in.
thing
I had like four
fine for Virginia.
thunderstorms. Yeah, I had like 4 thunderstorms within 2 days. So I
Okay, then I don't have a problem with it.
One kind of dumb Hulk is where he's like chucking a rock at.
yeah, that's pretty freaking dumb.
No, he's just
Yeah.
attacking. I like how he's being protective of Betty. Like puts his hand out, like stay back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But every noise. Also, this possibly could be Hulk's first interaction with thunder.
Maybe.
Yeah, I was to say. Could be. It'd be kind of a believable reaction, I suppose. At that
I
point.
do like the being that Bruce brings up later, like how he gets little images or fragments of memory from the events of Hulk. That he has this little PTSD, like night terror situation of like when the motorcycle went by, it sounded like like a some kind of weapon going off, or the shower head turning into Gatling gun.
This reminds me of one of my complaints about the film. The depiction of Banner's PTSD. I think the motorcycle one makes sense. I think the one in the shower here does not. It's not
Because
impossible.
circle equals gun.
Yeah, it's just circle equals gun. And it's not an easy sound to mimic to a Gatling gun. I'm like
Okay, I'm like, it was more than circle equals gun, but
yeah, it's supposed to be like the water spurting, like it's glitching out or whatever. Not glitching's not the right word, but you get what I'm trying to say.
yeah.
It spurts, and that's what triggers the sound. I it doesn't quite work for me in terms of I have a lot of issues with the way the MCU depicts PTSD, and I'm sure we'll get to Iron Man 3 at some point. But um, it only works in the sense of like for me it gets the point across. I just think the implementation of it is underwhelming and doesn't really make it feel like real PTSD. The first one with the motorcycle I can buy a little bit more because that's a very, very loud sound. But going from water spurting to Gatling gun is a bit much. I would be more inclined to have a PTSD jump to the water spurting to the sound of rain and then the sound of thunder, which can then lead to maybe like something akin to this.
Yeah, I mean, I see more of like an eye roll thing. Not, it's not something I would say we got to get that out of the movie,
No,
but
yeah, no, I don't think it's a huge like this
something
doesn't
way
destroy
better.
the film for me or anything. I'm sure the point about the serum did, but
Yes.
but yeah, this doesn't destroy the film for me. It's just I don't know. I have a lot of issues with how PTSD is depicted in media. So when it's depicted really well, I tend to give it a lot of praise when it does, and when it's not, I tend to pick it apart a little bit. So this is, I would say, this is more of a subjective hit for me, but it's very much eye roll. All right, it mechanically gets the point across.
Let's see. We're gonna go way back to when Bruce is getting chased through Brazil, and it bugged me how he successfully escaped, in air quotes. This is when he has the red hoodie and he already left the girl's place, and he walks and then he runs and then he sees Blonsky, and then then he turns around slowly. Why was he just suddenly running? Obviously, it's for the movie, so Blonsky could see him running. But at that point, he didn't need to run anymore.
No, uh, I think you're misremembering it a bit. At least in the way I remember it, I remember Blonsky's already looking directly at him, and then Blonsky makes the noise that he found him, and then he starts running. That's how I remember it. But
No, it's he's running, sees Blonsky,
and then stops.
stops and turns around, and then Blonsky yells, and then he starts running again.
Oh, okay. So your issue is that he was running to
The
begin with
first
into the
run,
scene. Okay.
yeah, not the
Uh,
escape run. That makes sense to me.
I don't know if I have much of an issue with that. He's trying to get as far away from his house as possible. It's just unfortunate he happens to go down the main street where the soldiers are.
And he's also been here for months, and we're kind of told he's an expert on evading through like Ross and stuff.
And again, when he's explaining to
So
Betty that you can't use credit cards, you can't use
yeah,
Yeah.
so I would imagine he would have an escape route from his apartment,
See,
some sort of backup.
yeah, see, I take that as another nick onto Banner's character, unintentionally, but that's provided by this scene more so than it being like I guess, a scene issue.
Kristen, what's your critique on again? Your original?
The initial point I was making was him running after he was presumed safe already, which then caught the eye of Blonsky because he was running in a area where everyone's walking. And then it kind of sprouted to a secondary point of him not having an escape route.
Okay, timestamp 1816. Upon Blonsky recognizing Banner from his debrief on the plane ride, so he has visual understanding of what he looks like. I guess, second before the turn to run, Banner is looking directly at Blonsky, seeing him run at him, resulting in him now to run away.
That's the second run. I'm talking about the lead up run.
The lead up run.
Yeah, the one
Where he
I-
runs into the populated area.
yeah. My issue.
Oh,
Well,
why he's running
yeah, I guess that's what Crimson's issue is, as far
and
as
not
I
just
understand.
walk away? Okay.
Because he's already escaped his apartment at this point, and I mean they're far enough away to where they're in front of him now. So clearly some time has also passed. So he's
I think
safe in
he's
air quotes.
yeah. I think he's just trying to quickly get away because there's no reason knowing that they breached and they got into his place gives him, I think, good presumption that they know what he looks like. So walking would give him up faster within the vicinity than trying to get away as quickly.
I think running in a area without people running would get eyes on you to get identified way faster than if you're walking in a crowd.
The Assassin's Creed method.
There
I mean,
is
kind of
method
just
to the
like a logic
madness.
thing.
Yeah.
You're way more likely to look at someone in a crowd that's running than someone
And
that's
you know what? I'll
not.
say this right now. It's reinforced later on when Banner's saying, just remember to walk slowly. He says it to Betty several times. Like, we're not trying to stand out. So I take this
Sure.
as that might be an inconsistency with this character you brought up.
I fall more onto the time
Which
jump
comma?
teleportation. I didn't call you anything. I don't think so.
Moron.
That's funny. No, I'm more on Blonsky teleporting
You
from.
did it again.
What's going on?
I'll end my point.
No,
I called
continue.
Crimson a moron twice, apparently. So
Do you not get it, Ryder?
No, I don't.
I said more on Blonsky.
Oh, got it. Okay. Sorry.
You know
gotta
what, Crimson, stop being offended. I'm calling
I
Blonsky
love
a
those
moron.
lowbrow jokes.
Right?
Sinister would be
yes,
proud.
the
Crimson.
teleportation from Banner's place to then in the populated area upon Banner turning the corner.
Okay, so that was the initial point. What do you think about the Bruce as a character pre-planning an escape route?
I think he had an escape route. Not very far, but the dummy in the bed and then the rope outside the window or whatever he used. That way he doesn't go through his front door. I don't think the friend or the coworker below was a part of his plan. I think that's just because she spotted him to keep him quiet because the spec ops team is directly above him. I think he would have used the rope all the way down to street level and walked.
I guess that's theoretically possible.
Yeah. If we want to denote a couple IQ points out of Banner, thinking that the only people to come find him are all in that room upon him leaving, and not thinking they're spread throughout because Ross has been searching for him for 158 days.
Yeah, we're lucky that Ross only brought a squad and not like 5.
True. Well, he learned.
3-star
Again,
general.
Ross learns his lesson when they get to the university.
He says in the whole military.
Yeah. And then I guess from that tipping off Bruce, he then learns it when they go to Mr. Blue's and makes it very stealth.
And yet
Yeah.
Thunderbolt Ross is so ineffective that he can't coordinate his forces and loses track of his daughter on the war zone because she just walks straight at the Hulk. Maybe I
Yeah,
have
he's got a
issues with
lot on his
Ross.
plate.
Yeah. Something I do like when Hulk's revealed at the university and jumps out onto the lawn and screams. It's Betty and Ross? Or is it Blonsky?
We have a
Two
snap
characters
zoom.
two characters get a dolly zoom
Yeah.
on them.
Yeah, Ross and Betty. Yeah,
Ross and Betty. And I'm like, that's pretty cool.
I like
I wrote
the
that down as the Jaws shot.
yeah. I agree. I did enjoy the dolly zoom. Good stuff.
Oh, look at
Classic.
my note right here. This is Hulk, big green monster. Gosh, still mad about Infinity War.
I do like this green version of Hulk. Like it's a pretty subdued dark green. It's no 2003 where it's blinding.
No.
I do like this more subdued green. The Mark Ruffalo one's not like too bad, but I do like this one a bit more in terms of the
That's
color.
why I hold the Age of Ultron one above the Avengers 1 Hulk. The Avengers 1 Hulk seems more vibrant green or like a dusty green, and the Age of Ultron has a little more grit and darkness to it, which is similar to this one, I guess.
Let's go to a writer point.
All right. Just gonna say, plot armor. Betty didn't die from the helicopter crash because the fire is the issue, not the impact, because the impact would obviously be absorbed. Yeah.
Oh, right, or everyone else died. The pilot died. The soldiers died. Everyone died except the main characters.
Plot armor.
Yeah. Gosh. You know what? This might be objectively our best film I think we've covered on the podcast.
Define best.
As in, like, the nearest to a 10 I think we've ever covered.
Okay, that's what you meant. Got it. I was real curious.
You're right.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
right. The purple
Maybe.
stretchy pants scene is what really elevated the objectivity of this film.
Don't you love?
I'll be honest. That was funny. That was
See,
a
this
funny
is when
scene.
Marvel could do comedy. Like, this is not Marvel comedy.
That was.
anymore,
It
this
didn't.
movie.
No, it didn't feel forced. It felt like Betty actually went like that was the stretchiest they had,
Cheapest
which
and
is also
stretchiest.
honed into. Yeah, but honed into the joke of like the comic accuracy and like that's comedically fine, paced, connected.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's paying homage without being insulting.
Yeah. This isn't no, you're gonna have to kill me line or whatever.
I'm just trying to picture this movie made now. There would be quips shot everywhere.
It would look better. Oh yeah. Which is not a Banner character. Banner should not be
Every
doing quips.
Yeah.
every single character would be quipping because they can't do that anymore. Every character
No,
quips.
they'd give Ross like a Tony Stark kind of humor. No, I wouldn't like it.
That would be disgusting. I
He would talk to Blonsky about
Oh,
like,
you know what? Good pitch. You should watch Brave New World.
I'm sure I'll get there at some point. Right now, I'm on
no,
Wakanda
I don't
Forever
think
is
I
my
will.
next MCU film. No, nice one.
I don't know if it's an error. I'm so confused. It starts raining after Hulk picks up Betty from like the explosion and she's unconscious in his arms. And Ross is watching Hulk and he like growls at him. And it's raining. What is keeping Ross dry? It's not
The tree
raining on
he's
him.
under. He's sitting under a
That's
tree.
stretch.
It's the big brain. Can't you tell?
I mean, the rain just started and he is under a tree, so I'm not too worried about him being dry at this moment. It's usually when it's raining for a while that trees start dripping below them.
Yes, but it
so
just
I'm not too worried about
I
it.
felt like he wasn't I felt like he was farther away from a tree.
I think he was casted in the tree shadow. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have too much of an issue with that one. Let's see. So we have two like college students recording, or
Oh,
at least
no.
one of them's recording. Oh no! At the
Oh,
university during the whole
Jim Wilson.
Hulk encounter. Yep. During the facts section, apparently both of them are actually comic book characters, but one of them's like Sam's nephew, Falcon's nephew in the comics.
Oh, interesting. Does it come back in Falcon and the Soldier on the boat?
I don't think so. You'd think a superhero would get paid, but anyways, different thing, different problem.
I hate that property so much.
Yeah, so we have these two. One of them's recording everything that's happening, and then later we have a news reporter using their footage, talking about a giant green man, but not seeing it. It just shows the military running around, and I'm just like, huh? Reports of a green giant, not actually footage of the green giant.
That's the news's decision.
I'm just going to
They didn't
assume
want to
that
spook the audience.
my best faith assumption is that Shield prevented it.
That's what I would want to happen. I don't know if that's what happened.
I think that's a news outlet decision.
No
It's
news
like the scene
would
in
cut out the
Signs.
monster, Sprinks.
Well, it's
No news
well,
would cut out the monster.
it's one of those things like viewers be
The
Viewer
news is all
discretion
about
is
fear
advised.
mongering.
Be warned.
it's like that scene in Signs where you see the alien on the TV. I feel like they do it like that.
But they did show the alien in that.
I know, but like the setup to that is what I'm saying. They should have done with the Hulk, not just like show Hulk in a shot kind of thing. because the
Sure.
public doesn't know what this is. It could be an alien.
But they said reports of a monster, which shows that they don't actually have footage of a monster. They're being told that there's a monster.
Corrupted footage. I don't know. You're right.
Yeah, no, it's just bad. I would
One
like
of
to
those things
think
where
Shield's
he
involved.
was recording and he took a photo of himself and
I might
I'd
have
like to think
a.
Shield's involved, but I need proof.
I got a question for our ace of Black Ops team members that was sent in to stop the Hulk. Why aren't any of them wearing helmets?
That was the point, right? They're just gonna get their head squashed in.
Like
That's a great
Blonsky, after
question.
he gets the super soldier serum, I guess he can go without a helmet since he can survive.
And he chooses to do what he wants to do. But you're absolutely right. I don't know why they're not wearing helmets. To have
Yeah, I
video
guess they do
recording
risk
on
shooting
all their
each
point of
other.
views and
Because that would
don't know.
help.
Yeah, probably would. But hey, the military, very competent in this, in every aspect.
Uh-huh.
Blonsky, what was he doing with the score up with Hulk? Is that all you got? What do you think his plan was?
See how much power he had.
No
And he saw
fucking
it.
clue.
So he didn't even try to like avoid the kick or anything. He just stood there and took it.
I don't understand. Blonsky's one note, but I don't understand why he did this.
He has such a
Yeah.
craving for power.
He does, but he's just ready to die right there or something. It doesn't make sense.
Maybe he put that much faith into this serum he has.
Is that set up enough to where he's that confident
I
in it?
don't know. He's like, if I was in the body 10 years younger, and then he did the whole procedure, and then he's running faster, and he's doing all these moves, and maybe he has just so much confidence and
Maybe
faith
it's so much
into what
adrenaline.
the government's
Maybe.
given him.
I would
Yeah.
prefer to read it as adrenaline, to be honest with you. But
Because he takes Ross out of his ear.
He does do that.
Yeah,
I do
I
like
think
the
he's on a
visual of
high.
his running. That it was pretty good.
Yes, but I think Steve Rogers could still outrun him.
Well, I mean, it was said that he got a fraction of it or a reduced
dosage.
dosage. So
I think
would
he's
agree.
running as fast as those soldiers would be running if they were running super fast. He'd still be faster than them, but if that makes sense, like they were all like jogging and he's booking it, so it makes him look super fast.
Oh, I mean, I feel like they kind of just layered two different things, but sure, they could have done that.
Okay.
I didn't look too deeply on.
It's
how
no
they
Like
did that.
it's no Cap
if
and Black
in-
Panther running ahead of the army.
in Infinity War and Cap's running faster, I feel like Blonsky would not be met at the same pace of Black Panther and Cap. He'd be back with like Umbaktu or something.
I mean, I think he'd be in the middle. I don't think he'd be with those two, but he'd be ahead of the army, I think.
Yeah. It's like in Narnia during that battle too. The snow leopards, whatever, are booking it.
Whatever the cats are.
Cheetahs.
Yeah, but they're so damn fast.
Yeah, I do love that. I do like that bit when the cheetahs are running ahead of the army because they would be capable of doing that.
Pretty cool army scene.
Yeah, pretty much.
Actually, I guess in both the first two.
I actually like
combat.
Prince Caspian and Lion Witch of the Order. Not as much as Lord of the Rings, but I do think their battles are well planned out and choreographed.
What about you missed one? What about Voyage of the Dawn Treader?
What about Voyage of the Dawn Treader?
Yeah, that's a discussion.
Can't wait till
for
they
another
remake
time.
all that.
Oh, I gotta tell you something after the pod.
Crush that spirit right where it needs to be.
We haven't talked too much about Mr. Blue. So I guess I will a little bit. I think they did enough to establish his awe in the science to where he didn't push the button, I guess. When Betsy's like, push the button. But after he got hit, which in reality he probably would have died from,
yeah.
he still didn't push the button, and that at that point, I don't know if they did enough. Is he too infatuated to the second opportunity not take it?
I think so. He's too I think he's quirky enough and pushes that off to be in awe. Especially since all this time has just been words and words and words and has not seen anything, and this is beyond like the capabilities of what could occur. Like he's just amazed that this much gamma poisoning isn't killing a human.
Well, yeah, and
That's
he's
all he really has.
well. The other aspect to it too is all the blood bags he's already stored because he had to clone what the sample that was given to him. And
Yeah, and it's like 37 tests,
Yeah,
all failed.
he's
None of them turned into Hulks.
none of them turned into Hulks, but he's also like talking about like what the importance of how it's gonna change humanity forever. Like it's gonna cure disease. It's gonna
Yeah.
do. He's got his priorities, I guess, on that end.
I'm not fully understood though why Blonsky would turn into a Hulk-like monster from a human testing standpoint. Maybe it's just human tests, and like his previous tests, none of them happened. Is that probably just like a biology genetics situation?
Yeah. The best I can deduce.
Again, we don't know what his previous tests are.
Yeah, the best I can deduce, right, is that
more human.
The best I can deduce, right, is that Banner's situation is so unique to who Banner is that his blood is required to make the super soldier serum take the next step into becoming the Hulk. Which is why we get Abomination. That's my best inference. I wish we had like a throwaway line to kind of help build into that a little bit more. But
Kind of got a little lost. What was the point being made? Sprinks?
That Mr. Blue has not seen any proof of a Hulk-like creature for his
Oh, from all
amazement
the
to be
tests.
to be shocked or stopped. Like he's not used to any of it.
he's focused on the benefits,
Visually.
and that's what he sees.
Yeah, well,
That's why
what we
Betty's
do
yelling at him
know,
and he's just standing there.
what we do know is the drop of blood killed Stanley. So this like synthesized blood probably just killed the test subjects. They didn't transform.
Yes, but what does he put into Blonsky?
I mean, whatever he just learned from this experience, I guess.
Well, no, I'm saying
He already has this something in him.
Well, he would give the blood from Banner, which is what I assume that what would be spread to him. But because he has a super soldier serum, it doesn't kill him. He just becomes Abomination.
A straight dose versus the diluted make ones.
Well, I mean, it could be a diluted make ones, but it would still theoretically. I can see the pseudoscience of what they're trying to build here.
It was the diluted one, and they showed it. He grabbed a 14.5% or something.
5.6. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're right.
So yeah, I mean, the super serum could keep Blonsky from dying to the blood. That might be the solution, because his bones were turned into gravel and he healed in like a day or two.
Yeah, he was fully healed.
I still.
So I guess
that's just still plot armor to me. I can't really.
It.
Yeah.
I mean, even Cap doesn't heal that fast.
No.
Look, I love Cap, but a shot to the head would still kill him. That's part of what pulls you into his character.
How's that joke where he's like, I think it was in Family Guy, where he's like holding his shield and they just shoot him in the legs.
Shoot him in the legs.
They're just like, he's just a man.
He's just a guy.
Yeah. It's the guy who runs faster than normal, is stronger than normal. He's the leader of the Avengers. Gotta respect.
Sorry, Tony.
It's true. I say this as the Iron Man fan here, or the biggest Iron Man fan here. Cap is the leader of the Avengers. I don't dispute that.
Hawkeye, excuse me.
Who?
Nope. No way.
Yeah, nope. he outranks them.
Nope. So. Nope. Clint Barton can be the leader of the West Coast Avengers, or whatever. You go with that.
I don't even know what you're referencing. Is Clint Barton supposed to be a leader of the Avengers?
I think he's the leader of the West Coast Avengers. I think. Okay. I could be mistaken on that. That's a comic thing. I got a question about Hulk. I don't know if you guys can answer. Hulk's form enhances all aspects of the body, or just like the muscles?
What aspects are you trying to tip towards?
Banner swallowed a flash drive to hide it. Would an enhanced gamma radiated stomach acid melt it? Like if Hulk swallowed that flash drive, would it be gone?
Lack the info. Can't help. I'm sorry.
Okay, because the flash drive is now in a Hulk's body.
Yeah, I would just say lack info. I have no comment. It's convenient that nothing bad
Okay.
happens to it and that it works perfectly fine after everything. But
I was just curious on that because I feel like if it's all enhanced, it would melt it. Then again, I don't know. Like, could Hulk eat metal? Like, it's just weird things. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you and I have talked once before where I'm like, can you drown the Hulk?
Yeah,
That
I think he
I'm
would
leaning
go
towards yes,
unconscious. Yeah,
because
he
he
would fall unconscious and then shift
breathes.
into Banner, and Banner would die. But then I think it's an exhaustion point because Banner, under any stress or situation, turns into Hulk, and they wouldn't just keep shifting between each other through torture. It'd get exhausted to a point where Hulk would not come out, and Banner would die.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a
So
comic line of Deadpool. Sorry to go a little tangent. Comic line of Deadpool killing the entire Marvel universe, and Hulk rips him to shreds, and then goes and sleeps in a cave, and Deadpool just comes back and just chops his head off while he's sleeping.
it's just that easy. Just got to kill Banner.
Yeah, but then later, Banner says took a bullet and the other guy spat it out. So, which means the Hulk transformation's faster than a bullet.
yeah, that's an Avengers issue. But we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, we see how the transformation is in this one. But he hit the ground as Bruce and came out Hulk anyways, so kind of hard to say.
It's true.
One of my funny, I think, one of the jokes that made me smirk was Betty snapping at the taxi driver and Banner offering to teach her some anger management.
Zip it.
That was a bit
good.
funny. I appreciated that exchange.
It's a good tone of like, oh, we'll take the subway. You really want this in the subway with crammed people? And it's like, okay. And then they take the taxi, and it's like the worst idea.
Yeah, it ended up being so much worse than they both anticipated.
Did either of you feel lackluster, disappointed in the ending of the Abomination fight?
Yeah, no, I felt the lackluster ending. It came across to me as like they didn't know how to end the fight between the two CGI
That's
monsters.
exactly what it felt like to me. Like, he's still conscious. He didn't get knocked out, and Blonsky's not the kind of guy that would just quit. You know?
Yeah.
So that
You know
just
what? All
doesn't make sense.
Character damaging.
Yeah. And
Blonsky
another
wouldn't quit.
point I wrote is I feel like the chain would break.
Before that, Blonsky would give up.
I don't think the chain is stronger than the Hulk or Abomination.
Yeah, if the chain is stronger than Hulk or the Abomination, I have no idea why it's on the roof of a building, because that shit would just break through the building.
Yeah. This whole the helicopter crash area feels very boss fight level.
It does.
Like, it doesn't feel like naturally in New York. Like, this is a set like a set for this fight.
I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like the training ground at the beginning of Last Stand. Like, it's just a set. I don't know.
I don't remember Last Stand very well. I've only seen it once.
When they're fighting the quote unquote Sentinel and Colossus fastballs Wolverine, and then it all goes like holograms down. But
yeah, nothing.
Okay.
Guess I'm due for a rewatch.
I found a continuity error.
All right, let's hear it.
Bruce Banner grows a magic hat. 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 40 seconds when they're in the truck, and Bruce, they see like the holdup up above with the cops, and when it goes back to Bruce, he has a hat on that magically appears before they get out of the truck to walk away.
Yeah, I didn't catch that one. Good catch.
Also, rip the people stuck in traffic behind them.
Yeah, there's now just a truck blocking their way.
Ryder, you wanna go next.
Let's see. I will jump to I guess the fight itself. I do like once the abomination breaks out. There's just a tiny bit of horror elements as we follow these soldiers through the street, like trying to track the monster. Though it's the dumb part of it is they're looking they clearly saw it and they're looking in the opposite direction from where it came from. So like they didn't coordinate with the CGI team as much as they should have. But I do appreciate the tone of like the horror feeling of the boots on the ground after
Yeah.
abomination breaks
I
out.
like it's the unknown fear because
Yeah.
they just think it's Hulk, and Ross is clearly like it's not
Gotta
because
get
he's got
yourself
eyes on
together.
Banner. Yeah. At 1 hour 28 minutes 35, when Blonsky throws a car, and I think it's from the perspective inside the Jeep or what the truck that the military men are in, the car Blonsky throws obliterates. I
Where's
can't
this
say
L
it.
coming from? Obliterates.
Obliterates a woman, and she's just gone.
Oh yeah, he straight up hits people and like throws them in the street. Like people violently
It's
died
like
of abomination.
Sauron with the elves. He's just throwing them around.
Kinda, yeah.
Making a lot of Lord of the Rings references.
It's all for live, all right.
Yeah, no punches are getting held.
No.
With the civilians, anyways.
Yeah, I was surprised that they showed like people like dying by the hands of the abomination. It's true that's how it would happen, but it was still surprising that they showed that.
Yeah.
Early Marvel before they established their vibe.
Well,
I guess so.
Disney doesn't acquire them until after Incredible Hulk, right?
Well, this one was the only one that wasn't Paramount that put out in Phase 1. This one was put out
Universal.
by Universal. Yeah. But Kevin Feige was still involved in it.
Yes.
Yeah, but I like saying I'm hinting at I think once Disney acquired it, that's when some of the grit gets lost.
Yeah.
Possibly. I just feel like it's a particular movie, maybe two, that kind of pushes things in
One
a
movie started it, which is fine because it fit and it makes sense. A second movie tried to replicate, and that's where it went wrong. And hopefully there's enough to understand what those two movies are.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm totally lost. So, guess
Really?
Yeah.
Crimson, can you
want
make?
to say them?
I would like you to guess.
I mean, the one I'm leaning towards heavily is Ragnarok, but I don't know which one if you're saying that's the first or the second one.
That's the second.
Line. That's the second one. So the one you're saying is to set that up.
What started the comedy train a little more so than other Marvel movies to a point, but it's totally fine for the movie because it fits.
Ant-Man?
No, Guardians. Guardians 1.
Uh,
The overuse of Guardians 1 comedy, I think, really fits the team dynamic and who the Guardians are of Misfits team, and it seemed very fitting and fine. Ragnarok, I think, tried to replicate that much comedy into a movie by using it with Thor, who previously with Thor 1 and Thor 2, not a funny character. Avengers has bits, but that's all reactionary. And it really just totally changed Thor. Some say for the better, some say for the worse. But that example of Ragnarok really kind of just spiraled down the comedy line of Marvel films after. At least that's where I stand.
I don't, because Taika Waititi said he didn't do any research when making that movie. So I think that's just Taika Waititi making a movie, not influenced by Guardians with James Gunn. But Ragnarok is where I hold the turning point. That's where I stand on it.
I was on a completely different conversation when I brought up my point. So I agree broadly with you guys. I think it can't be understated that Joss Whedon's quips in Age of Ultron definitely started leading to a higher degree of comedy as well.
I mean, they've definitely tried to emulate Joss Whedon's humor.
Yeah.
Even First Avenger, it's got good humor. But Joss Whedon's good at what he does.
Yeah, I agree. Joss Whedon's very good at what he does. Even of Age of Ultron, for all of its quips, they're still very character heavy.
Yeah, they don't feel like, okay, it's a mandated joke.
Yeah.
It feels
Yes.
justified.
It feels like these
Balanced
characters have a
with
bunch of
Firefly.
history, and this is what they have. This is their banter as they work and bicker.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, but like what Spring said, Firefly, good balance. Buffy, good balance. Dollhouse, not too much humor in that show.
Wouldn't know.
Yeah. The where I was on is I was talking about the grit of Marvel.
Yes.
And
So, yeah. Sorry. Just like the opposite ascent.
yeah, I was saying the grit I think was lost when Disney might have acquired the the property or the studio, because as I don't think Captain America, the first Avenger, and I don't think Thor have the same grit that Iron Man 1 and the Incredible Hulk have. And that same could be said for Iron Man 2 as well. Iron Man 2 still has elements of grit, but it's nowhere near as gritty as the first film.
I agree. I think I know what your definition of grit by that means, and I would say yes.
I don't know if I agree
Oh,
on
I
that.
think I would say First Avenger has more grit than Thor.
I would, yeah, on that. But I feel like Thor still has a lot of grit to it. I mean, he's doing like genocide of the ice giants. His
My
argument
definition
with
of grit
Odin.
my definition of grit is on-screen depicted violence. Like we don't see on Thor, like we don't see like a civilian getting fucking blasted through a building. We see the
We see
heroes.
Mjolnir pushing giants around. We don't
Yeah.
actually see it like going through torsos and gore and
The only bit of
popping
gore
heads off.
in Thor is that big giant frost monster that's chasing them after they're trying to leave Jotunheim, and Thor flies right through it, and we have a spurt of blood, and that's it.
Gore's in the fourth one.
Yeah, the God Butcher.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
The best part about the movie.
I don't know why Christian Bale's here, but
Eh,
he's a good
sure.
actor. It's nice to see him.
Sprinks.
That's me. Let's see. The antidote going into Hulk to cure him. The first thing being the color of his eyes changing from green to Bruce Banner blue is a movie moment. And that's the first aspect that the antidote is healing.
I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's the inverse of what's been set up, right? We always see the eyes turn green first.
Also true.
Yeah.
So
I
movie
don't know.
moment,
I
but it's a
guess
movie
I
moment with setup.
find it. Yeah, I find it corny to be opposite reaction of the initiation.
Yeah, I agree. It's corny and it's cheesy, but at least there's setup to it.
There is indeed setup. Let's see. We get the thunderclap to save Elizabeth and the helicopter, and I don't fully understand it because it looked like it was an explosion and not just fire, but he saved it, I guess.
I guess the explosion would
Shortage
have
of
been as if
oxygen,
the
putting it
fire
out.
reached the ammunition.
Yes. I think so.
I guess it just caught really big, really quick then.
Yeah, just for like the sake of like danger.
I guess another one of the juxtaposing funny bits that I got from the film was Mr. Blue saying, "All right, you're being paranoid," and then Bruce immediately gets hit with the trank, and Mr. Blue
That was good.
freaks out. That was a little funny. I appreciated that.
I hate the government as much as the next guy.
Yeah.
That was good timing.
Something
Good joke.
I don't appreciate, and it's not a nitpick. I guess I'm confused, and maybe you guys can help me. At 1 hour 28:35. Nope, that's the lady one. 1 hour 22:30. When Bruce is in the stretcher and he goes into the chopper, and Betty follows, and they all get inside the chopper to
And then
be
he's just
taken
out
off.
of the stretcher when he come back.
Well, that's okay because they bind him in handcuffs. But when the chopper takes off, it makes a roar sound effect like a monster.
I don't
I
know the audio you're
I
talking
didn't
about,
get that
so
vibe off
I'm
of
just
it.
gonna
So
shrug. I didn't. I remember a
okay.
helicopter sound. So
It would exactly. It didn't sound like a helicopter sound. So, but I played it back and I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
it
No.
didn't stand out, so I can't really add to it.
But I guess with a downside, a plus side that I think is really badass is when Abomination grabs the RPG missile and headbutts it. That looks really cool.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan where his back was turned to it and he just knew. But that's fine.
He's just that good.
He's just
he
that good.
he just has
You're right.
those excellent combat instincts. Yeah, I'm in agreement. It looks cool. I have the same issue with that Crimson takes with it.
Which leads into something that I didn't enjoy about the fight either. Was Blonsky wasn't fighting like a soldier. It was like a bar brawl between the two. I
Yeah.
didn't feel like there was two
This
different
wasn't
skill sets
Hulk
happening.
and Thanos, where Thanos was actually
Exactly.
doing technical fight
Cool moves.
moves,
Yeah.
which Blonsky would know.
So that was my issue because Blonsky is Blonsky here. There's
Yeah.
no abomination. It's
And
Blonsky.
we know that
Yeah.
at least mostly Banner is in Hulk, so I'm annoyed that we didn't get like that technique he was learning from the monks earlier being used by the Hulk. So there are things that Banner could have done as Hulk, but we just don't see them. So I'm in agreement. There's not a lot of technical fighting from either of them really in the fight.
What Hulk does is more so resourcefulness to find weapons. Like he rips apart a car to use his boxing gloves.
Yeah. And then the only technical bits of the fight is when Hulk is breaking out of his hold to save Betty and Ross. Because the fighting gets a little bit more technical there on Hulk's part, but that was just not there for the whole fight.
Yeah, like the hitting down on the inner part of the elbow and then the like side punch and all that jazz. Yeah, so that was quite lackluster. And we have this amazing soldier who fights like a bar brawler.
He is blind with rage. I mean, I'm sure that's
he's actually very happy right now.
yes, but I'm sure that's an element to it. Is the transformation itself taking hold? So it probably alters him in somehow, much like how Hulk alters Bruce Banner.
Maybe.
I don't know. We see
I don't know if I have enough
Blonsky's
though.
got way more control of himself.
Well, yeah, it's not a 1-to-1 because of the super soldier or whatever he already has in him, which is what Mr. Blue brings up.
Yeah,
But
so I think he's at the level where he still retains his combat prowess. I don't think he's at the point where he's lost that.
I would guess not know, being how verbal he is and communicative of his thoughts. So I will go with that's just written out and not explained or shown.
Also, it's probably a balancing thing because Hulk would get wrecked if
Blonsky
we
was
had
fully the Hulk.
Blonsky
Yeah,
with
but
his skills.
what they need to do, which I don't really see in a lot of Hulk media, when Hulk gets more and more damaged, he gets stronger. When he gets angry, he gets stronger. So it'd be cool if he's actually getting his butt handed to him, and that's pissing him off more to stop and just like grab Abomination's hand and just just squeeze it and break the hand or something, like just the anger he gets. But it always seems like Hulk is like one set strength and just stays that strength until like he becomes Banner again.
Another kind of a bit on
Until
just a
he's
tiny bit with
explosive.
that is that I think Hulk's size is inconsistent throughout this film.
His size?
Yeah, there are images where he's definitely smaller than like comparatively to other scenes, and then vice versa, where he's bigger compared to other scenes. I don't really have any specifics for that. It was just a general trend while watching the film that I noticed.
I'd like to see an image mapping on that. I'm not saying I don't believe you. I just don't picture it in my head.
Yeah, I don't really have it. But it's possible. I mean, there's a lot of Hulk shots to think they'd be
I mean,
consistent all the way.
I guess. Ooh, actually, Blonsky standing up to Hulk is below his waist, right?
It's
Yeah.
about waist level.
Okay. So then when Hulk is holding Betty and is across his whole arms, if Betty was standing next to Hulk, I feel like she'd be above his waist, which makes Betty taller than Blonsky. Maybe.
There's a few things like that I think that are littered throughout the film.
Yeah.
It's not egregious for me. Like I can still like immerse myself in the film outside of when someone says WW2. But I do think his size is inconsistent across the film. And it's an objective visual issue, but obviously I don't take any necessarily writing issues with it because it doesn't come up as a writing issue as far as like a Hulk here in this normal form or normal size would have been able to do this, but because they CGI'd him smaller, it affects the core of what happens in the scene. There's nothing like that here, so I don't necessarily have any objective issues with it. It's just something I noticed.
I guess note check. How are you guys doing?
Only a couple more.
I can scrape together a couple more as well.
All right, let's go with Sprinks.
The superhero kind of like through the city shot of like Hulk leaving, and it's like, thank you, for giving us Blonsky, and the spotlight's on him. First off, I don't know why the spotlight's on him. He moves 20 feet and the spotlight's gone, and then comes back onto him. But him just like kind of jumping through the buildings feels very much like Spider-Man, Sam Raimi, of like just swinging through the city at the end kind of thing.
Surprised he's not breaking through any roofs. He's running along, but
Yeah.
I guess I was kind of seeing it like Hulk in the Avengers movie with the Chitauri. Guess that'll just be a continuation of a character trait.
yay!
I see.
It's very convenient that the plan for the antidote to work is that an incident has to be induced.
Yeah, I suppose it is, but I
Because
can buy it.
I mean, like, because he didn't necessarily need to do that when he was testing other antidotes.
Yeah, but the other ones didn't work.
Yeah, but we don't really get a reason as to why it needs to be this way. It just happens to be this way, which is fine, I guess. It's just lazy writing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they got to it quickly. I don't know. I can buy it, I guess, at the end of the day. Point I have is the camera battery dying on at the end on Liberty Island with Elizabeth. I don't really know why they decided just to have the camera die.
No, she's just been
I guess
staring
it's
at it
gonna
for
be she's
so
just been
long.
staring at it all day.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is like a unnecessary addition. I don't even think they really need that scene at all, actually, for just looking at the photo. But hey, she's still thinking about it. We never would have guessed.
I mean, it's the conclusion. I understand why they put it there. It's just weird the way it's implemented, I guess.
Yeah.
Alrighter.
Sure. I will jump to Abomination just chasing down the Humvee that's like retreating back. It I do feel bad for the soldiers that are stuck in that thing. Definitely get a sense of
They were in a horror movie.
Yeah, exactly. They're living a horror movie
Yeah.
right now. But I guess to show that Blonsky is still the Abomination is like, give me a real fight or something like that. And I think that's good enough to convey that. At least, again, he's one note and has some character issues, but at least we understand his motivation is super simplified.
Yeah, it varies quite refined down to one thing.
At least it's consistent.
Yes. What did you guys? Because I kind of said in the facts section their intentions, but what did you guys read as his smile at the cabin?
Oh, at the end, ugh, I don't know that he controlled it, that he wants it.
Yeah, my
No.
read of it is that he can control it now.
All right. Yeah, that's kind of my takeaway from it as well.
Yeah. The green eyes with the smile really seemed like he achieved something.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Achievement Hunter Green. Nice.
Not what I meant, but okay.
I wouldn't have gotten that. Mhm. Good one, Sprinks.
Oh, you know me.
Very subtle.
The incidents of the day start to show. This one's a lot slower and actually shows you before dwindling down at the end that it's been 31 days since the last incident. Would the last incident be what occurred in New York? That we've
In
seen?
terms
Presumably.
of the flow of a movie, yes, but technically it doesn't have to be.
Okay. Because I was trying to think if it is been 31 days, is that enough time for Bruce to remotely in British Columbia, or where I guess he probably hasn't been in British Columbia for 31 days, so shorter time than that, to get the necklace back that Betty gave away with him doing it remotely with not being able to use cards.
I'm just thinking, where is he getting his mail?
Yeah.
It's funny. But uh, yeah, I'd say 31 days is enough time to
Well,
get
31
something
days
shipped
if
to
you start
you.
on the 31st day, but if his travel distance from New York to British Columbia is across the entire country within 31
Oh,
days, is that like,
I mean, that's as
I don't know
simple as
how
a
long that
flight.
takes.
He doesn't have to walk or drive there.
He's not
But
flying.
yeah,
If he's not going on a subway, he's not flying.
I don't know about that. Yeah. I don't know if that's a straight A to B line right
I don't
there.
think Banner's going to put Hulk in a plane.
Probably not.
We're going off of just this movie.
Yes.
Yeah. If he wasn't going to go into a subway with Betty by his side to calm him, I don't think he'd be in a plane.
I mean, by that logic, I would be like, oh, he would never go to New York because it's just a stressful place entirely.
I
But
think okay. So the plane thing, right? The reason I don't think would take a plane is simply for the fact that you have to go through airport security.
That's how, well, yeah, 2008. You're right.
Now that is why he wouldn't go on a plane.
well, maybe Ross helped him. They kind of left on good terms, kind of.
I don't know.
I would need to see that.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's gray.
Oh, I do have a bit of
yeah,
a
that's
science
totally
complaint.
the first edition of Hulk.
I have a bit of a science complaint.
Oh, that was lame.
All right. I've been doing a lot of lame things apparently in this one.
Don't worry,
I didn't mean like that.
you're still doing good.
I meant kudos to your joke, but
No, it was a lame joke.
go ahead, Ryder.
Yeah, Mr. Blue explains that the primer works by allowing cells to absorb the serum, and that's why Banner didn't die from radiation poisoning. I cracked a joke saying they don't know how radiation poisoning works. Because the radiation destroys the DNA of cells, typically. Gamma radiation can be special, for all I know. We don't really get any specifics on how it functions, but
And real world applications.
real world applications, that's not how radiation poisoning works. And I'd be curious to see what the structure of the primer is, because that sounds really fucking cool. Sorry, I'm a biologist. I do what Betty does. That's what I study.
That's fine. Not my field.
Springs.
What do I have left? All I have left is the after credit scene.
All right, go ahead and tackle it.
Well, actually, in this movie, it's not an after credit scene. It's just a continuation scene of the movie, so the last scene of the movie. I just thought it was funny that Tony wants General Ross to join the Avengers.
Yeah, that's the takeaway.
It's how the context of the scene sounds like.
Man,
it's not.
It's so much worse having seen the consultant short after Thor. This scene is like made makes less sense within the context of this film, and the consultant does a lot to fix it. Like, so the motivation is ascribed to be much later as to what this scene means. But as of right now, yes, I agree. It's very confusing.
It's just funny.
And this, I don't know. This Tony doesn't feel like Iron Man 1 Tony.
It
No.
doesn't. It doesn't even feel like Iron Man 2 Tony. It just feels too
Feels like after Iron Man 2 Tony.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel like Tony to me.
Yeah,
actually.
like I said,
It's like pretending to be
It's too
Tony.
business.
Yeah, too official.
Yeah, too official.
Yeah, it's weird because he's not like it's I don't know. It's something with the dialogue for me that gets me with this scene that I don't like.
Do you think it would have been better if it was Fury?
100%.
Absolutely, 100% it would be better if it was.
I don't know
Fury.
why Tony's doing this.
Yeah, that would be in the consultant. You have to go look that up. But it's very weird that it's Tony.
Yeah,
He was just in the neighborhood.
I guess so.
all right, so that was Sprinks' last writer. You got anything else?
I do not actually. Other than it's good to see that they're trying to set up a cinematic universe. Like, I like that Stark is here. I feel like there are reasons he could be here. I just don't think they do enough to justify it within the context of the scene. It would be better if it was Fury.
Yes, it would. And I guess my last point, and maybe I just completely missed something. It feels like it is because it feels too big for me for them to have missed it. Why was Elizabeth and Bruce going back to the university?
Going back to the university.
Oh, like in the middle of the day during when the military show up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
why were they going back
I have
there?
no fucking clue. I thought they were going to the train station.
Yeah, they were gonna leave.
Yeah, they're in a completely different
I
place.
just assumed I missed something.
You did not. The
but-
film just put them there despite what they said. There's no train station that's next to the university that I know of.
That there's no drives that they talk about needing or equipment. She has the flash drive. That's all they need.
Yeah, I agree.
So I just assumed I missed something. But if I'm not, then that's actually insane that they just did that for the action scene.
They did it for the action sequence. I have
It
no reason
feels
why.
like they did it for the action. Like they're heading the direction of the train, I'm gonna guess, but they go past the university.
They're not even in a car though. They're out in the
They're
park.
not in a car. Yeah, they're walking.
Oh man, that's really bad.
Yes, it is. I'm happy you pointed it out because that is a fact I forgot to bring up.
Weird.
That's horrible. That's peak laziness. They didn't even write that in, like, to build it.
They wrote it in. They wrote like next scene, university.
University
exterior.
fight scene.
Yeah,
But sir, why is that there?
because that's where the army
fight
is.
Toy.
You know, Betty was in on it. She was leading Bruce.
Yeah,
I don't know. You're right.
And that's solidified as a.
There
big
could have been
issue
one
then.
sentence, but I missed it.
There isn't.
If all three of us missed it, that kind of. I mean, it's theoretically possible.
Do you really want to try and defend a movie that hurt Captain America, Springs?
Not fully.
Yeah, I don't remember there being a line of it. It's so weird. It was weird to me. I actually, finding my notes, like, why are they staying in a park? I thought they were going to a train station. Oh, they're at the university. Why are they at the university?
Yeah. So wow, that's bad.
Awful. Yeah.
Well, that is my final point.
Changed.
Yeah.
Yay! I didn't really have any scores going into this, so
I had a range, and
Our scores. That is so weird. We all do scores differently.
I had
No, I
a
usually do have them pre-done, but this one I didn't have one.
yeah, I have a range for my score. I never really solidified until after the podcast, unless like I'm 100% certain of something. Um, but yeah, I had a range for this one, and well, I'll tell you, the range changed.
All right, well, this will be an interesting recap, or not recap, review rating section. You both have interesting setups to your score. Let's go with me, since I don't have an interesting setup to my scores.
On the old Simon Cowell from Far, Far, Far Away idol.
Yes, good reference.
I like that.
So I will start with my subjective first. I know this movie gets a lot of flack in like the MCU, where there's a lot of people that don't even know it's part of it, really, which is kind of interesting. But I can see why. And I'm pretty simple in terms of like action movies. As long as it delivers the action, it's usually like a passable score, unless everything is so egregious or there's like annoying characters. And this didn't meet that threshold. Ross can be annoying due to his stupidity, but I do like his character, the idea of his character, I should say. Um, I think he's acted very well, and that kind of keeps him engaging to me as a viewer. Uh, Bruce, I like in quotation marks. Um, I buy his journey for the cure and his desperation and the balancing between his life, civilians, and a relationship with Elizabeth. I think the character I care least about is Elizabeth, because her only real trait is I love Bruce, which is fine. It doesn't have to be complex, but because it's that plain, it doesn't really grab me that much.
I found sorry, a quick note. You reminded me of something. I found it interesting that Betty didn't know why Ross was hunting Bruce down.
I suppose so, because she was in the room when that happened,
Yeah,
when she got hospitalized.
I found it interesting because sorry to interrupt you. It's just that there was a scene where like Bruce had to explain to her, it's like I don't understand why we can't just go into my father and talk to him together. And then he explained to her, no, he wants to weaponize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, uh, she knows him well enough to where she could just assume he wants to weaponize it. That's true. Let's see, what was it? Oh, for Blonsky, he is one note, as we were saying. He's just kind of like this not power hungry, but like alpha energied
Wants to
man.
fight.
He wants to be top dog. So, and I'm okay with that. It's a simple thing. It's entertaining to a degree. Once he's Abomination, I did say it kind of sucked the enjoyment out once he's not fighting like a pro soldier or anything, an elite soldier. So there's that. And I think Hulk visually, the muscles and stuff looks really good. I don't think it's that dated. Just Hulk himself. We've talked about like Abomination not looking great and some other stuff, but Hulk himself I think looks pretty good still for the most part. So that will be it for my subjective, and I have this at a 5.5. Objectively, this is kind of riddled with issues. Ross, definitely a contender for one of the worst higher ups in the military I've seen in media. He's severely incompetent, and just the soldiers are kind of incompetent. We talked about how there was zero communication amongst these like ace soldiers or whatever. I forget what they classified them as, but during the whole chase scene of Bruce in Brazil, there's no communication going on. They're just running amok. And Blonsky runs off on his own and somehow miraculously finds Bruce, even though he had no eyes on him for 10 minutes, and then spots a speck of him entering the soda facility at the end. Very lucky. So a lot goes into play there. Blonsky's dead. He got kicked into a tree, got pulverized, flat out gone, flatlined. We talked about a lot of conveniences on things happening just for the plot's sake. I mean, the biggest one came out right at the end there is they sent them to the university just for the fight scene. They didn't establish why they were at the university. They were supposed to go to the train. Uh, that was really bad. I kind of touched about the visuals during my subjective section, but I think Hulk looks really good visually. Abomination, I think, is passable for 2008, but he's kind of on the lower end of the spectrum on this particular film. I think the explosions look all right. The cars getting crushed and thrown look decent. So the visual department, I think, it did a good job. The lighting on the CG assets, I think, also looked pretty good. Like Hulk in the rain looked solid. Stuff like that. The acting, I think, is all average to good. I think Ross is good, and Blonsky's good. Bruce, okay. Edward Norton. I think Elizabeth was kind of the weak actor here. That could just be lack of material and her one note nature. What else do I have? I'm kind of rambling. The plot, I guess, it's the military hunting down somebody. It's very bare bones. The inclusion of Mr. Blue kind of at the end, I think works because he's been around since the beginning as an unknown force, and he's an interesting character once we see him. Where he's so engrossed in the science and the benefit to humanity that he didn't even follow his own instructions for the operation by pushing the button because he knows if it takes too much, Bruce dies. Too little, he probably dies because Hulk would kill him. So interesting way to approach the scientist. Nothing too revolutionary. And speaking of science, cool that they reference Captain America, even though that wasn't out yet. Pretty cool thing there. Can't wait to see how they tap into that. So objectively, I'm at a 4. Let's go with Sprinks next.
I almost bit my tongue off at that comment.
Oh, hey, Cap's not out yet. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's
It's hard. I know.
It's dropped points. I hate that.
Do you
It's the
want-
most
do you-
hated thing about this movie.
Do you want to start? Do you want to start subjective? Or?
Sure, I can drop. I'll start subjective. My score started at a 6.5 because I thought this movie was fun. It's a passable fun movie. It's a monster movie. I like the dynamic of the Jekyll and Hyde thing of Banner and Hulk. The love with Betty of like forbidden love, like it's not going to work out kind of thing, reminded me of like Nora and Victor of Mr. Freeze, but I like Mr. Freeze far more. But just like something like that, and I like that blend of like the ideology of Bruce Banner and how smart he is of the situation he has to go with the relationship with both a love interest and then the Hulk side of things. It's very fascinating and actually a Hulk movie, because Mark Ruffalo much later said they'll never make a Hulk movie because I think of licensing issues or something. But I thought this movie was very fun, and it still is pretty fun. I think this is one of those definitions of turn your brain off, fun movie. However, this movie has issues that I haven't really sorted out through in previous watches of I don't like that Hulk and Banner don't seem to be separate entities. They seem to be one and the same. I don't like that Hulk whispers. That's weird. I don't like the whole Captain America tie-in thing. I think that's shitty. I don't like. Oh shoot! What was the other thing? I feel like there was something else. I do like the Hulk design. I think it looks cool. I do like the bad guy. I think Blonsky being this power-hungry guy to just want more and more and become an abomination is cool. I think Betty is a good love interest. Sorry to Leonard, she really just does not care, which felt a little weird being in a relationship with a guy for a long time. Uh, and then Mr. Blue, that actor, I forget his name. Sinister would know, but he's just like, I don't know what to classify that actor's role. He's not typecast, but he just seems to be this secondary character who's quirky, weird style or something. I don't know. He seems very fitting in this. Um, and then, oh boy, I think I've probably said everything really. I'm settled now at a 5.5. So there's things I like about this movie, but it's weighed by the things I don't like about the decisions they have of connections in this movie. Also, a good thing I guess I also like is the jokes. I think the jokes are balanced out where they are placed throughout the movie. Objectively, my score also did change. Let's see, cinematography I think it's tricky. I think overall good. What I am on the fence about with the cinematography, which is not good or bad, is that I think it's a little symbolic that Bruce Banner is always on the move and he's always has a place to go. He has to hide at all times. The camera never likes to sit still. There's not really shots of the camera just being still before a cut. It's usually always panning or moving or zooming or something in like every shot of this movie. Like 90% of this movie is a moving camera. Which is very dynamic, very keeps the feel going, the tension. Even bits of like the quiet romantic bits of Betty and Bruce saying goodnight, like there's slow zooms or pans of them making out before Bruce says we can't do this and stuff like that. So there's still movement in the parts where I feel like it's more intimate and can be slow. I don't know. The acting, I think the acting overall is pretty good. I think the acting of Edward Norton as Bruce Banner he acts very well. I don't think Bruce Banner is a character that fits him though. That's just a me thing. William Hurt as General Ross, I think, is very good casting. The writing of his character is another thing, but I think he's very good, well cast. Liv Tyler as Betty Ross, I think, is very good. Tim Roth as Emil Blonsky, it feels like a weird role for him, kind of thing, but I think he pulls it off very well with what he has. And then the guy who plays Mr. Blue, I forget his name, but also that did very well. The editing, I think, is fine. There's good editing bits, transitional usages, cuts. The one thing that really stood out to me is the handheld bit before the cut, which kind of foreshadows into the cut or something bad happening. I don't really like, but other than that, I think the editing's pretty well done. The writing takes a hit. You guys know more military stuff than I do, but even I can recognize that General Ross is just like, I can do whatever the hell I say I want to do, and when I say I want to do something, it'll fail somehow, some way. I don't know. There are more people in the military than just this one general who seems to have control of every unit of the army he wants at any whim, willy nilly or whatever, and he's on front lines and all this stuff. I don't know. It's I understand to get him in the scenes of context with Bruce Banner in vicinity rather than keeping him like far away surveillance wise at all times. Um, it would be cool if there was actually more of like General Ross like shooting at the Hulk and gets injured somehow, or more hands on if he's that desperate to get Banner captured or to try to do things in his own hands, kind of thing. I wish there was more of that rather than relying on people to do the job for him, which fails. But I do also like the learning kind of thing written in of how I see of like the spec team didn't work, so then the big full on military, which spooked and didn't work, so then he went like stealth, which did eventually work, so he like learned from the mistakes. I do like that. The jokes written in are well. The romance written is fine. I just don't think the actors have chemistry. Yes, for the writing. Oh my gosh, lighting fine. A lot of it's natural lighting, which is totally fine. The filter in Brazil put over the film is okay. I feel like it has a name. It's in Breaking Bad. It's in like all these other things. I forget what it's called. It's like Mexican Sunset or something like that. And it kind of has that feel to it, except it's more yellow than orange. Um, and then I feel like that's everything. I always forget something. CGI usage, I guess I'll go with that too. CGI usage, overall, I think it's passable for its time in 2008. It's no Davy Jones, but it's no, oh God, what's a bad CGI? It's no Scorpion King, I guess. Um, so overall, I have this at a 4.5. I did have it at a 6.
Oh, that might be your biggest like podcast intake drop.
Possibly.
Yeah. All right. Ryder, you're up next.
Yay! I'll do my subjective first. Having I kind of agree with all of you. It's definitely, if I turn my brain off, I can enjoy this film for what it is. Uh, get a lot of subjective points for Liv Tyler, just for childhood reasons. I It's a fun movie, I think. I do understand what they're trying to do with a lot of the stuff in the film, but uh, and I again, I feel I guess the fun in that. Um, it's again, I wouldn't. It's not the best MCU movie, um, but it's not horrible either. Like, I'm not gonna say, if someone suggests that we watch it, I'm not gonna be like radically opposed to trying it out or something like that, or just like putting it on as background noise, or it being something to watch and just for the sake of having it on. I don't. I don't hate the film for anything that it depicts.
Not
Um,
Quantum Mania.
yeah, that's very true. I I think I'm in agreement of what. There's a lot of things that do bother me about the film, just on a personal level, like throwing. I know we kind of joke that comes before Cap, but it's inconsistent with Captain America, and unfortunately, that's Captain America's fault for not being consistent with this as it came first. That being said, I don't enjoy the, I guess the tie-in. Uh, they make the tie-in good enough in Avengers. I didn't really enjoy it here. It's a little too much because now it just raises more and more questions going forward. In isolation, though, I think for the most part, Edward Norton is a decent Bruce Banner. It's not my. Obviously, we have more time with Mark Ruffalo and stuff like that, but I don't hate the character. I think all the acting is fun. I think a lot of the bits and pieces in the film are fun. So I'm kind of with you guys in the range. I'm at a 5 subjectively. Um, Objectively, oh boy, uh, what isn't a mess? Um, Blonsky's one note character. Not necessarily a mess, just very underdeveloped. They don't really do much with him, which is fine. It's just one note, simple. I think the only inconsistencies are other things that happened. Like he died from kicked out of the Hulk. That's plot armor. I think the we lose a lot of the skill of the fighter in the CGI battle at the end, which is kind of a shame because that's kind of the whole point for his character. I think the power hungry growth makes a degree of sense. But yeah, I don't think he's egregious. I think there's some nicks to his character, but nothing that really like breaks him. I could say the same thing with Betty. Very one note character. Doesn't really have a lot of nicks to her as a character goes, outside of maybe some naivety that she probably shouldn't have. Um, but otherwise, again, just a few nicks. So fairly intact character. Uh, Bruce Banner was dealt some significant damage over the course of the film. At least for me, I view him not having an escape route as a problem. I view him not being paranoid enough at the beginning with the bottle and the blood drop as a problem because it's happened off screen, but the world still exists off the camera frame, so I view that as a problem. That definitely retroactively damages his character. The advice he gives about not, uh, running, like don't run, walk, to blend in is kind of advice he ignores at the beginning of the film. I can't really say he learns that because that's something he should have been doing this entire time. I think Banner's conclusion uh, is fine with, I guess, the smile on the camera is the way I interpret it. I think there's a lot lost in terms of his character relationship work between him and Ross. That would be more integral to Ross, I think, than it would be to Banner, but it does nonetheless make Banner significantly feel like he's not a fully fledged out character in certain scenes towards the end. So again, I'm don't say he's super damaged, but he's definitely took some hits. Um, uh, I've been harping on Ross his entire time. I like the concept of the character, but I'm not grading on concept here. I'm grading on execution, and I think he's broken from start to finish for multiple reasons. If he's so engrossed to try and capture Banner that he needs to be there in person, that makes him make mistakes. That's something they could play off of. They don't do that. It's just demonstrating his incompetency again and again. And honestly, as you said, this is up there for top tier and like ex worst higher up military that's been executed in film. Yeah, I was getting first order vibes, which is not a good vibe you need to give off as a military commander. I love the actor. I think he does a great job, but the material he works with is inconsistent. His character doesn't feel fulfilled by the end. Even I don't understand why he agrees to let Banner go back. Very underdeveloped, that whole relationship and reason to allow Banner to go back. I think there's something there, but they don't play off of any of it, which is to the film's detriment, I think, to a very, very high degree. Um, and I would say Thunderbolt Ross is probably the worst character in this film, despite him probably being the concept I would like to typically enjoy the most. Um, the plot is simple in that it's just a military guy trying to hunt down Banner, but the execution is awful. Let's just not even just the convenience of the bottle at the beginning to get the whole plot moving. We have the convenience of them just being at the school to get an action sequence going, which helps to facilitate you know, Blonsky getting more power hungry because he needs another shot of adrenaline. We see, or another shot of the super serum. That's integral to the plot, and the reason it happens is very, very contrived. Her boyfriend turning her in is turning them into Ross. There's motivation there. Roadmap doesn't exist at all. Don't know how Betty found Banner walking around in the rain in New York City of all places, unless she went to literally every bridge in the city, which is absurd to think about. And it's a miracle that she even recognized it's him because it's pouring rain. He's got a hood on. She could have just driven right past him and not known it was him, for all I know. So very convenient there. Yeah, the plot in this film is awful, and that leads to the world building. The world building for me could be kind of construed down to like how well the pseudoscience is integrated and how well the interconnectivity with the universe is integrated, and the military is incompetent, kind of leaning towards like first order level of incompetency. Don't want to inspire that sort of confidence. I think this movie does damage to world building of other films, being Captain America: The First Avenger, which is kind of a shame. That's not necessarily going to factor into the objective of this one, as I'm trying to judge this on the timeline in which it came out, as best as I can within the isolated film. I don't have the pseudoscience makes a degree of sense within the context. there are bits and bobs that I think could be fleshed out a little bit more. The integration of Tony Stark at the end of the film, didn't feel like Tony Stark. It felt wrong. I feel like Nick Fury would have been a far better choice to have here. Being Nick Fury's high ranking in the intelligence apparatus of America at the time, and I think that would be a much better conversation to have between him and Thunderbolt Ross. So the world building is okay. I think the biggest damages are the implementation of the military. Blonsky being given an American super soldier serum, even though he's not an American soldier, he's on loan from the Royal Marines. I don't know why that happens. That's just more damage onto Ross's character, as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, there's stuff wrong in a lot of categories here. Was bouncing at between a 3.5 and a 4.5. I think I'm landing on a 3.5. It's a fun movie to watch, but this film has tons of problems.
When you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. When you put your mind to this, you accomplish failure.
I guess, yeah.
I was workshopping that. That didn't come out great, but
I understood what you meant. And with that, gentlemen, shall I read us out?
I have one pitch to make, which I thought about. Rather than Nick Fury, as he was the ending of the previous movie for Iron Man, and that movie already established Agent Coulson, I think it would have been cool if the end of this one had Maria Hill.
Yes, I would greatly appreciate that.
I think she could still fit that role.
In retrospect of us knowing the MCU, yes, but this is supposed to hook the audience into the whole, this is a universe.
No one,
and I don't think Maria Hill would really do that like Tony.
Yeah,
that's probably why they did Tony over Nick Fury, really. But
yeah, if people knew who Maria Hill was before this film, I think she would be a fine person to cast in that role. But since they don't, I don't think that's would service the need of the hook. That there will be more.
Okay, the Avenger, just bringing up the Avengers thing, I think would have been enough. And would have been more like, oh my gosh, Maria Hill from S.H.I.E.L.D. for the comic fans. Because I don't see Coulson being able to do this role. He's too stoic.
No, I don't see Coulson with this, no. Yeah, they want a reach more than the comic audience with the MCU films.
Yeah, that makes sense to be more of a general integrative audience kind of thing with the main character of the last movie to now, rather than introducing someone new. But introducing someone new would be fun.
Yeah, which is what they kind of do with the current MCU stuff, where they're introducing characters no one's ever heard of, right?
Yes, I think they made a new character. Like not a, oh, never mind. I'm thinking of something else. Never mind. Hoo, my mistake.
All right. I'm ready to end. I don't have any.
Yes, Ryder. I'm now
right.
good.
Then I shall read us out, gentlemen. Thank you for listening, whether it be Spotify, Amazon, Castbox, Good Pods, iHeartRadio, Podcasts, and Samsung, and even being our visual side of things via YouTube or Rumble. Thank you for watching there, seeing our PNG Tubers slideshow. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe everywhere. Tell us how much you hate our opinions or how much you love them. And as always, I've been a Geeky Writer.
I'm Crimson Maroon.
And I'm Springs.
And we will catch you next time. Later, everybody.
Bye.
Toodaloo.